beautiful Monday night in Atlanta. It's time for Braves baseball, and a great series is upon us. The Braves and St. Louis Cardinals meet for the first of 3 games. The race for the Eastern Division title, the magic number for Atlanta, stands at 8. But the Cardinals will be a tough foe. They're in the wild card chase, and Atlanta tries to wreck their playoff hopes beginning tonight. Hi again, friends. I'm Chip Carey. Paul Bird, Joe Simpson will be along in a moment. Let's get you caught up on the playoff race as we dwindle down to the final 2 weeks of regular season play here in 2018. The Braves, as you know, still have a commanding 6.5 game lead over the Phillies in the National League East. The Cardinals have faint hopes of catching the Cubs in the National League Central, but at the moment, the Cardinals are tied with the Dodgers for the second wild card. LA just took 3 out of 4 from St. Louis, and out west, it's still a shootout. The Rockies and Dodgers meet in game 1 of a big series out west starting tonight. So, fellas, an interesting series. 2 very similar ball clubs in very similar circumstances, both trying to make the playoffs. And, Joe, it's going to come down to what it always does in big league baseball, starting pitching starting tonight.
We've got a postseason quality matchup for you tonight. We're going to start with Mike Foltynewicz because he's our guy. And he has been outstanding lately. He was brilliant in his last outing out in San Francisco. 9 innings, came within 1 pitch of throwing a complete game shutout. Wound up giving up 1 run, only 1 walk against 7 strikeouts. Take a look at these standings in the National League. An ERA, opponents average against, strikeouts per innings pitched. He's among the leaders in almost every category. And he's drawn a tough assignment tonight, Paul, with a guy for the Cardinals who ain't too shabby either.
No, absolutely. And this is not our guy. But anyways, Mr. Michaelis, Miles Michaelis, excellent. He has come over from Japan, a great pickup from the Cardinals. You see that last start, he is outstanding, and he leads the league, guys, in throwing strikes. He does not walk you, so Braves hitters will need to be ready. We'll see if we can give this guy a loss, but that has been tough. How about that ERA, 6 in the National League? Very good. And you see the best in the National League down there, 1.39 base on balls, Chip.
And he's graded on the road. He's 8-0 so far for St. Louis away from Busch Stadium. It's time for that to change here tonight. Beautiful night for baseball. It's the Braves, it's the Cardinals. Freddie Freeman and company hope the bats come to life early and often against the rampaging Redbirds. Lineups and first pitch coming your way right after this.
The Georgia Lottery, and by the All-South Highway Safety Team. The All-South Highway Safety Team reminds you to play it safe by always wearing your seatbelt.
Not a cloud in the sky above SunTrust Park for game 1 between the Braves and the Cardinals. We'll be joined by Kelsey Wingert in just a few moments. Your Checkers weather report, 85 degrees, clear skies. It is rather muggy still here in Atlanta in the middle of September. Hopefully the high heat of Mike Foltynewicz will tame the St. Louis Cardinals, who under Mike Schilt come to town at 82 and 68 on the year. Their Toyota starting lineup features Matt Carpenter, who has been a home run hitting machine, leads the league in that category. He's leading off and playing first base. Jose Martinez in right, Paul DeYoung the shortstop, Marcell Ozuna, the former Marlin, is in left. Jerko, the Iron Man, Yadi Molina, Wong, Munoz, and Michaelis all have to tangle with Mike Foltynewicz, fellows, who looks for win number 12 in game 1 at home tonight.
Now he has turned into Atlanta's ace. How about the first 16? A little hiccup for 4, and the last 8 when it counts more than ever coming down the stretch. In a playoff race, he has been nails. 1.84 ERA. That's excellent, and not too many home runs allowed. He's been outstanding, Joe.
You know what? Exactly on the lines of what you just said, we go to the 4 keys for pitching success. He has been electric. He has been outstanding. He has taken over the ace leadership on this ball club. And with respect to postseason, he's drawn a postseason assignment against a very good pitcher. This is like prep work. This is what it's like in the postseason on these must-win games.
So he'll try to keep Matt Carpenter under control for the Cardinals. Carpenter had 2 hits in their 4-game series with the Dodgers and comes into town with a .266 average, 35 homers, 77 batted in, and a whopping 95 walks. So a powerful and patient hitter at the top of the order for St. Louis. We'll see how it works out here in the first as Fultonevich goes to work, and the first one is off the screen out of play. Steele, right one. Late night arrival for St. Louis. They played the Sunday night game last evening. They got to town around 2:30 this morning. We'll see if that helps Atlanta's cause in game 1 this evening. Fultonevich with that glove waggle turns it loose and missed high. 1 ball, 1 strike.
A lot of times this time of year, that Sunday night game, you get into town on the road at a late hour, you might not take batting practice, save your energy. Not so Cardinals. They were out hitting.
And the slider missed, ball 2 for Matt Carpenter. It's Mike Schilt, organizational man. Got a chance to lead the Cardinals after Mike Matheny was dismissed. And he's done such a good job, they tore up the interim status and gave him a 3-year contract. Good for him. The pitch is off the plate, ball 3. So here's that patience of Carpenter in the top of the first.
Great plate discipline, and he wants to lead off. He could hit 3-hole, but he likes leading off, and this is why. He believes it makes him a little more patient, and he wants to be that on-base guy.
A .381 on-base percentage for Carpenter. Who now faces a full count.
Most of the time, guys that are worried about their on-base percentage don't have 35 home runs.
No. But he's been a little dry in that category this month.
Homerless over the last 14 games, but he's aboard with a leadoff walk, and that's how the game starts. Walks, as you know, have been a gigantic problem for the Braves over the last week and a half. Many of them by the bullpen. The Braves starters have issued their fair share of them as well. So leadoff pass puts Carpenter aboard for Jose Martinez. Martinez 7th in the National League in hitting at .301. He's hit 16 homers. We've seen him play first base against the Braves this year. Tonight he's in right field. And Mike throws strike 1.
I played with his dad, Carlos Cafe Martinez, with the Indians. Reminds me of him the way he gets in the box. A lot of movement. Kind of loosey-goosey, and his nickname is Cafito.
Bouncing ball right side. Freddie can't get it. Race to the bag, and just in time. Martinez thought he beat Fultonevich to the first base bag. And it's a 4-1 putout. Let's see if Martinez goes back to the bag or heads to the dugout. The Cardinals might take a look at this one. It is a productive out in the meantime as Carpenter's at second with 1 out for the moment.
Ozzie had to hurry as Mike was trying to get there. Oh, he definitely beat him.
Excellent job of Fulte of breaking down at the bag. Instead of running through it, he would have been, had he run through the bag, the throw would have been late. So you break down at the bag, expect a bad throw. He did a nice job of catching the ball and finding the bag quickly.
So Paul DeYoung, the Cardinal shortstop, will dig in. 57 runs batted in. 38 of those have come since the All-Star break. He just turned 25 in August out of Orlando.
Kind of popped up out of nowhere last year. Played great for them. 17 homers this year, 13 of them on the road.
And 25 homers last year.
They are a good road team. Cardinals are 19 games, or excuse me, 9 games over 500 on the road, 42 and 33.
1 ball, no strikes, and a slider evens the count at 1-1.
That slider has been a wonderful weapon for Mike all year long.
The league has not done much against his non-fastball pitches in 2018. In fact, eye-popping numbers for Foltynewicz, who, as we know, can light up a radar gun. But when that slider is crackling, when that occasional changeup is working, the league is hitting 131 against Mike's secondary pitches. Carpenter, a good lead at second. The 2-1 pitch is bounced to the right side. Freeman backhand stab. He leads Folty to the bag. Runner to third. 2 outs. So after a walk, a 4-1 and then a 3-1 putout. And now Marcell Ozuna, the key man of the inning. He bats with 2 outs and a man 90 feet away.
Mike kind of took that throw, stepped on the bag, and then bent over. I've been watching him like he hurt something, but let's hope not.
Maybe a little winded right there from the 2 runs to first. Pitchers do train a lot, but he's throwing the baseball. He's covered twice.
It's hot and it is muggy.
Just a deep breath there.
So Marcell Ozuna is the batter. 22 homers for him. He has had a good September. 6 homers this month. And that's upstairs. Ball 1. Sam Holbrook, by the way, has the plate.
He's umpired some Braves and Cardinals games before, hadn't he? At least I somewhere remember that.
I remember one in particular very, very well. The pitch just missed, ball 2.
Ozuna has missed some time. He's had a really bad right shoulder, his throwing shoulder. So you're going to see some serious one-handed swings, but it's not affecting him hitting. He's hitting the ball a long way, driving in some big runs for him.
'29 go-ahead RBIs for Ozuna. 29 of his 83. Remember, he was with the Marlins. Nice pickup for St. Louis.
That's why they got him, to provide some thump. They really lacked that true feared home run hitter in their lineup, and he struggled early, but now has been what they were hoping for.
Fouled off his body. 2 balls, 2 strikes, and now Mike's a strike away from working out of this first inning jam.
He hit one of the most amazing home runs last year that I remember, and off Mike Foltynewicz in Miami on a pitch up and in, where he just got through the zone so quickly and hit it into the seats above the bullpen out there. He can turn on a fastball.
He had 37 homers, drove in 124 runs last year. The first year he's hit that many homers and drove in over 100. He's down to his last strike here in the first inning. The pitch. Missed outside, full count.
And it used to be a pitch he swung at all the time and chased.
Remember, Barry Bonds was the hitting coach with the Marlins, and the Marlins folks, I believe, told us that of all of the Miami hitters, it was Bonds and Ozuna who had the best bond between hitter and hitting coach. 3-2 pitch is high, ball 4, another walk, and the inning continues for Jed Jerko.
Sometimes as a starter, it takes you a little while to get going, especially when you have multiple pitches. You have to throw, or you're expecting to throw 100 to 115, 120 pitches during a game, so you have to warm up. You have to throw a certain amount in the bullpen. There's a fine line sometimes. Sometimes as a pitcher, you come into the game and you just struggle getting a feel for all of your pitches. Folty just missing with that slider.
And just missed Jerko with the first one. Ball one. Mike's having trouble throwing strike one in the early going.
There's only a couple of guys in their lineup that are in a little bit of a cold spell, but Ozuna's in a hot one. So pitching around him is not something that should be a surprise. Mike pitched great against St. Louis in St. Louis earlier this year. 5 innings, a 1-hit shutout ball. Struck out 9 in those 5 innings, but it was a horribly hot day.
Yeah.
And he just was zapped after 5 innings.
2-0 pitch. So will Jerko have a 3-0 green light? Yadier Molina waits on deck. He did, and he yanked it out of play foul. 3-1. That's a quick bat.
Yes, and the 3-0 ambush. A lot of times as a pitcher, you're not expecting that hitter to swing 3-0. Jerko had one thing on his mind. 3-run homer.
Yeah.
Which if you swing 3-0, that's what you should be doing.
That's what you should be doing.
3-1, Powder River right down the middle, full count. Volte's going to the rosin bag a lot. That's that humidity we've seen. Foltynewicz with 5 batters faced has gone to 3-2 to 3 of them. And Ozuna will get a head start here with 2 outs. Freeman plays behind him. There he goes. The pitch is lined out of play. I recall Jerko came up with the San Diego Padres, got a big contract very early in his career, but was sent back to the minor leagues in 2015. The Cardinals then acquired him. In time for the 2016 season, he's hit 30 homers, 20 homers, this year 11 as a member of the Redbirds. Again the 3-2, and again fouled away.
Good fastball, but not a 99 yet. And when it's 3-2 with a bunch of guys on base, he's trying not to walk another guy, so he's not rearing back and getting his Sunday best.
A lot of his fastballs have been up too, Joe, so it's a matter of finishing the pitch, hitting that outside corner when you need to.
His 26th pitch is pulled foul. Boy, the Cardinals have done a good job of fouling balls off in this inning. And it'll take at least 27 pitches for Mike to get out of the opening inning. He threw 108 pitches in his complete game in San Fran. The pitch is in the dirt, and that's the 3rd walk of the inning. So you can see the frustration of Foltynewicz now. Leadoff walk, 2 ground outs, then back-to-back passes to Ozuna and Jerko. And now you have to tangle with Yadier Molina, the Cardinal catcher who's knocked in 63 runs this year.
And he is a notorious ambusher after a meeting on the mound. Be careful on this first pitch.
I like Flo going out there right now. And there's nothing that he's really going to say other than, hey, I'm just giving you a break. You're throwing the ball well. You have good stuff. Make sure you locate it. Get out of this inning without giving up a run, and you're fine.
Molina has been battling a left hamstring problem, starting in his 5th consecutive game after missing 6 because of the hammy. And he does ambush the first one and fouls it away. Good call, Joe. Strike 1. No balls and a strike. Bases full of Cardinals. The pitch. And Molina is hit by a pitch with the bases loaded. It's 1-0. So a very painful RBI, and Chuck Hernandez is on his way to the mound.
One of those where he misses again, arm side, flying open earlier.
A little bit of a lean in there. And a lot of guys, when they're trying to get out of the way of that pitch inside, they'll raise their hands up and kind of jackknife out of the way. Molina did not do that. But he got the run in.
His 64th RBI. St. Louis has the lead, and Colton Wong will be the batter. He's the Cardinals' second baseman. He too has missed some time with a hamstring problem, and batting .240 on the year. Bases still loaded. All this trouble after 2 are out. 2 walks and a hit batsman. Ozuna at third, Jerko at second, Molina the runner at first. And ball 1. And fouled away, a ball and a strike. Something Sean Newcomb has dealt with. Maybe something Mike is dealing with tonight. Again, it is warm, it is muggy. I don't know if grip issue is a problem. As I said, he's gone to the rosin bag quite a bit. But he's been uncharacteristically wild here in this first inning. 3 walks and a hit batsman. And the pitch. Got that one called. 1-2.
Close enough. Glad to have that one.
It would be a huge victory for Mike just to give up 1 run in this inning.
Absolutely.
But the Cardinals know that he's thrown 33 first inning pitches. Swing and a shot headed to right field. That's a base hit. 2 are going to score. Molina barely able to jog to third base. It's a 2-run double for Colton Wong, and it's 3-0 St. Louis. That's their first hit.
Deja vu all over again. Braves fell behind 3-0 yesterday to the Nationals. Ultimately 5-0 before trying to dig out of that hole. Hanging slider.
Tried to go back door. Wong with a nice job. He looked like he was looking for that pitch. Hits a double and got an intentional walk.
So Miles Michaelis will do what every starting pitcher loves. He gets to hit before he's thrown a pitch in the game, and he's enjoying a 3-0 lead. 4 first inning walks.
And he can hit.
He's got a couple of home runs this year. And he's knocked in 5 runs. So Colton Wong with a big 2-out double. And St. Louis leads 3-0 here in the first inning. Michaelis' first big league hit was a homer April 2nd against Milwaukee. His second homer was a tape measure shot at Coors Field, 426 feet. So don't take him lightly. Foul that away. It's quickly 0-2. Max Fried is up in the pen. He had a brilliant start against the Cardinals on June 30th. And a swing and a miss will retire the side. 37 pitches for Foltynewicz. The Cardinals score 3 runs on 1 hit and 1 hit batsman.
And by SunTrust. Confidence starts here.
Atlanta's got to battle back from a 3-run deficit after the Cardinals batted around in the first inning. Ronald Acuna Jr. will lead off for the Braves here in the bottom of the first inning. Acuna, Albies, and Freddie Freeman, the first three on Brian Snitker's Toyota starting lineup. Good to see Johan Camargo back in there at third base. Johan missed a handful of games with a sore left groin. And Atlanta's got their hands full, as you guys said, with Miles Michaelis. He's 15-9 and has the 6th best ERA in the National League.
And he doesn't walk you. You see the walks per 9 innings, best in the National League, 1.39. Fastball 93 to 95 with some sink. Has a good slider, cut, curve, and change. So he throws the kitchen sink at you, all for strikes, works quick. Guys like playing behind him.
And something else that doesn't, you think, well, it's a long game, got 9 innings to try to erase those 3 runs. When he's given 2 runs or more, he's 15-0.
And I owe Miles an apology. I can't read my own writing. He's only lost 4 games. It's 15-4, not 15-9. So he's had a spectacular year after the Cardinals signed him out of Japan. And he leads 3-0 for Ronald Acuna. And he delivers a first pitch strike.
So he's better than what you told us?
He's better than what I told you. Only 28 walks this year. Remarkable. So Acuna, who had 4 hits against the Cardinals up in St. Louis, including a homer. See if he can start a rally for Atlanta. And that's out of play, foul. 1 ball and 2 strikes. .25 homers for Ronald, a .292 average. And downstairs, ball 2.
Ronald had a good series up in St. Louis, 4 for 13 with a homer.
And a 3-ball count.
There's that good wipeout slider. Acuna with a nice eye right there. Way to lay off that. Took a hard left.
So you figure he'll be around the plate. Question is, what will he get? He got a shot to left field is what he got. A leadoff hit for Ronald. So a leadoff single for the Braves left fielder. Here's Ozzie.
Ronald's been getting beat a little bit on the fastballs. Yesterday was a case in point, especially his last at bat. And he was going to try to correct that tonight and has already done so.
2-seamer stayed straight. Ball got through the hole quickly.
No chance for Jerko, who ranged to his left. And here come the Braves and Ozzie Albies. Ozzie with 22 homers. He's knocked in 68. He had 5 hits up in St. Louis. And taken low, ball 1. Joe, is it an advantage as a hitter knowing that a guy like Michaelis is around the plate so much?
Sure, I think so. You know you're going to get a good pitch to hit. It's just a matter of not missing it. You may get more than 1 if it goes to a deep count.
Nicely framed by Molina. Ball 1, strike 1.
Doesn't make your job any easier, especially if he's painting the outside corner like that.
Kind of unusual arm action. Almost looks like he shot puts it a little bit, and I think he pushes it so the ball gets on you quickly.
Well, he threw a beauty against the Braves up in St. Louis on June 29th. 1 run, 7 hits in 6 1/3 innings. 4 of those 7 hits were infield hits for the Braves. So they got their work cut out for him tonight, down 3-0 after a half inning.
And he's a guy, because he throws so many strikes, he's among the league leaders in the fewest pitches per inning. Coming into this game at just under 15 per inning, and that's second only to Jacob deGrom.
His 10th is on the way to Ozzie, who tried to stop his swing and couldn't. That one right across his shoe tops. There's a break for the Cardinals. 2-2 the count.
I enjoy watching him pitch. Guys, that right there, when he took off the hat, that is the face of a man who in 2011, Arizona Fall League, on a bet, ate a lizard. His name is the Lizard King.
Little pop into left. That's going to carry out to Ozuna. And he'll make the catch with a hop. 1 on, 1 out. And Freddie Freeman's the batter.
That's not something you hear about every day.
No, I don't think you knew what to respond on that one.
No, it was.
Apologize to all PETA members.
Well, you could have saved that for the Geico play of the game. You know, the Geico Gecko. That would have been perfect.
And you know what I like? He played for the Yomiuri Giants in Japan for 3 years. He became a cult figure in Japan, but he learned how to pitch. He went 33-13, 2.18 ERA, and what he learned specifically was how to throw his breaking ball at different angles. And we're seeing a little bit of that tonight.
Let me ask you this. For a guy that was drafted by the Padres, went to Texas, then went to Japan for 3 years, has there been a better free agent pitching signing than this guy for the Cardinals?
No.
At 15-4 and a sub-3 ERA?
I would agree, no. Signed him for a 2-year deal. And gave him $15.5 million. So that's coming out of Japan. You don't 100% know what you're going to get. So you have to credit the Cardinals. He has been a surprise ace. He has been one of the reasons this game is so important, and they are challenging in a huge series to grab the wild card.
31-13 while pitching in Japan. He was 4-6 in the major leagues with Texas and San Diego before this year. So Paul, you're right. He's really turned his life around, not to mention his career. And he's still just 30 years old. He's probably got a lot of years left in him.
Just turned 30.
1 ball, 1 strike. And Freeman takes inside, ball 2.
And his style of pitching will last for a long time because he's not dependent upon physically throwing 97. He can throw 5 or 6 different pitches. And how about that pitching coach, Mike Maddox, right there, who I'm sure loves the way he works.
2 balls and a strike. And Freeman couldn't check his swing. That ball was up and out of the zone. 2-2.
And like Mike Fultonevich, Michaelis has thrown a complete game shutout this year. Cardinal pitcher's shutout came in late May against Kansas City. Walked 1, struck out 9. Only gave up 4 hits.
Acuna at first after a leadoff single. Albies flied out to left, and now a 2-2 for Freeman. And that is tipped and caught. Yadier Molina with the leather. That's Freeman's first strikeout. First for Michaelis, and a runner at first, 2 down now for Nick Markakis.
Nice curveball going straight down. He has the wipeout slider that Acuna took. Everything coming out of that same arm angle.
Nick Markakis with 2 outs. And in at the knees, a strike. Again, you will see Yadier Molina come out of that catcher's crouch. You will see him labor around the base paths. He's got a very, very bad hamstring. But as you said, Paul, he knows the importance of these games for the Cardinals. He will be behind the plate as often as that leg allows him. Bouncing ball toward first. Carpenter's got it, and Michaelis gives up a leadoff hit and nothing else. Top of the order's up again for St. Louis. They enjoy a 3-0 lead after 1. first inning, so we head to the second, where Matt Carpenter will start again. He and Ronald Acuna are the principals on our Georgia Lottery Hitting the Jackpot feature.
Since the All-Star break, they have put up some big numbers. Carpenter, as we said, has cooled off a little bit this month. The long ball's been a little bit hard for him to come by, but not for Ronald.
Carpenter's gone 14 games without hitting a home run. We'll see if we can make that continue through the series, but he has had an outstanding year.
Lifted toward left, and Acuna will handle that can of corn. Ball's carrying. Look at that baby carry out near the track. And Carpenter's retired to start the second inning. 1 out. It goes without saying, guys, Mike needs a quick inning or two, maybe 3, to give the Braves bats a chance after 37 first inning pitches.
He really labored that first inning. Every pitch, he was fighting himself. There were guys on, high pressure. So it was a hard number of pitches. It wasn't easy. None of them were easy, so I agree.
It's got to be a lonely feeling when there's nothing you can go to throw for a strike consistently in the very first inning.
No, and you know the importance of the game, and you've been the ace, and you want to be the stopper, and sometimes you can try a little too hard. You need a couple first pitch outs just to get back in rhythm.
But you can just see the frustration in his body language as he paws around the mound. There's nothing he can go to at the moment to get a strike. You got Martinez to bounce to second. Mike covered the bag at first and missed badly there. Ball 3.
He even missed a few of those where Flowers were setting down the middle 3-2 for the slider, and just like, hey, just shoot for the middle. You're probably going to miss a little bit. We'll still get a strike, but he was bouncing them, just showing he just really did not have feel for that great pitch we talked about.
Sharply hit on a 3-0 count. And Dansby at short takes care of Martinez. 2 outs on 6 pitches, and DeYoung is coming up.
I'd like to see Mike get back to his fastball and establish that before he goes back to his slider. Even if his slider is a little off, it's a deadly pitch if he's ahead in the count, but he's got to get ahead in the count. And these guys know he throws hard. Just because they might, as Tom Glavine said the other night, they might be good fastball hitters, but they've still got to contend with it. You got to make them respect it.
Mile high pop up. This should be an easy inning. Just what Fultonevich needed. Acuna is there. He's got it. And the Braves are coming up in the second. Johan Camargo leads off. It's 3-0 Cardinals.
Johan Camargo set to lead off for the Braves, and that is a welcoming sight. As you know, he did return back to the lineup today, and he is the subject of our T-Mobile Built for Baseball, because, man, the Braves are excited to get that bat and that glove back in there. Now, he is batting 5th today, and he had been batting 2nd prior to that injury. And Brian Snitker told us today that he's batting 5th for a couple of reasons. One being that he likes Camargo in that 5-hole, where he actually hit .333 in 27 games. And the second reason being they can work him back in there instead of loading up those ABs early. But you guys, I think Brian Snitker and the rest of the team are just excited to get him back in there.
No doubt about that. As good as he's been since the All-Star break, and since June 1, nobody has more RBIs than Johan Camargo. So Michaelis to work. His first pitch to Camargo is taken for a strike.
I'm glad he's back, because for selfish reasons, I just like watching him play. I think a lot of Braves fans feel that way.
Looper towards short, and a nice leaping grab by DeYoung in shallow center. Camargo's bid for a blooper is denied by the St. Louis shortstop, and there's the first out.
I agree with you, Joe. Camargo is one of those players who very fun to watch, and the Braves have a number of players like that. For whatever reason, you can't take your eye off them. I like to watch him celebrate in the dugout. I feel like it's very genuine, a lot of energy, and I love to watch him make that play at third base where he comes in and just gives a little flick.
Ander takes a strike. Braves center fielder batting .260 on the season. Atlanta got a leadoff hit from Acuna. It's 4 up, 4 down since for Michaelis, and fouled away. It's 0-2. Mets are helping the Braves out tonight. They're in Philadelphia. It's Zach Wheeler and Jake Arrieta. Mets have just taken a 2-0 lead. That game's in the 5th inning at Citizens Bank Park. Magic number for Atlanta to win the East is 8. What would be nice for the Braves is if they could get on a roll here at home on the last 2 series of this homestand. It's been a struggle for the Braves here at SunTrust Park. That ball smoked and under the glove of Colton Wong and into right field. So Ender's got a 1-out single. That was sharply hit. And that's an area where the Cardinals have really been disappointing, I think, Joe, this year. That jumped out at us when we were in St. Louis. This has not been a very good defensive team this year.
The worst in Major League Baseball in terms of errors. 113 errors. That is not St. Louis Cardinal-like. But you can't hang that on Colton Wong. He may well win the Gold Glove at second base in the National League this year. He's only made 5 errors.
The rest of his infield mates have had their troubles. Carpenter's made 14. DeYoung's made 11. Jerko's made 13. And that's a hit batsman. Tyler Flowers got drilled. So both catchers have been hit by a pitch, and Atlanta has a threat now with 2 on and 1 out.
He's hit a few guys, and maybe on just such an occasion as this, running the ball in on him. That's his 7th hit batsman.
So let's see what Dansby can do. He had 4 hits against the Cardinals up in St. Louis. And a swing and a miss.
Good cut. Top of the zone. Breaking ball didn't have a lot of break on it. Just missed it.
Yeah, spot here where 1 swing of the bat ties the game up. Dansby's got power. He's hit 14 homers. Top of the zone again.
That's the pitch right there where you're playing with fire, throwing the fastball into Dansby, especially if it's straight right there. That ball was up and out of the zone, so that was good high for the pitcher. But if that's a little bit lower, look at gas south sign.
You're exactly right.
Now he's got a fight to dig out of a 2-strike hole here. With NCRT at second, Tyler Flowers at first. The 0-2 pitch is fouled away. Mentioned the 14 homers for Dansby. He's 3 away from the Atlanta shortstop record for homers in a single season. Andrelton Simmons and our old pal Jeff Blauser. It's 17 home runs for the Braves. That's a record Dansby will try to track down here in the final 2 weeks. And the 0-2 pitch. Fought off foul. We'll do it again. Mets extend their lead. It's 4-0 in the 5th inning. In Philadelphia, that's Zach Wheeler on the mound for the Mets, and boy has he been good. Wheeler is 9-1 in his last 11 decisions. Or last 11 games, I beg your pardon.
He's healthy again.
And I think it's safe to say, Joe, the Mets are happy they did not trade him.
Well, the Phillies after tonight will not see Syndergaard. They will not see DeGrom.
No balls, 2 strikes. And a good take. Molina smothered that. Might as well be the Iron Curtain behind the plate. It's a shocker if the ball gets behind Yadier Molina, who can still handle a pitching staff and control a running game as well as any catcher in baseball. Molina, by the way, needs 3 more starts behind the plate to tie Brad Ausmus for 10th all time in games started behind the plate in baseball history. One-two. Pulled off the plate. 2-2.
You know what, Chip? I mean, that kind of surprises me.
It surprised me when I read it too.
I figured he was already up near the top, about to break Carlton Fisk or Pudge Rodriguez's numbers, because it seems like he's been playing forever and catches virtually every day. Some kind of baseball player.
And you talk about who's the leader of the Cardinals. Well, among position players, that's their guy. Dansby with a 2-2 now. Oh, it's bounced foul. Love the battle. He was behind 0-2. He's making Michaelis work now.
I loved what the Cardinals manager Schilt said concerning Yadi. He said he's the smartest player I've ever been around. He's smarter than me. He's smarter than anyone else in our whole organization. For a managerial guy who is a organizational guy for a long time, that's saying something.
Great compliment.
Two. That one is fouled at the plate. Did Molina hang on? He did not. There's a break. Just didn't stick. And Molina can't believe that.
That hurt. Thumb.
And somewhere else. You might recall Molina was hit there earlier this season and had to have surgery.
The ball will find you.
A little professional courtesy there for Swanson, perhaps, to step out for a moment. And now Michaelis will gather himself with a 2-2 count. 3-0 St. Louis. Braves threatening in the second. Driven toward right, and Martinez will back up to the edge of the track. There's the catch. Ender's going to tag and head to third. The ball's cut off, and Mike Foltynewicz will try to help himself with runners first and third, but 2 out.
Good at bat by Dansby. 0-2, kept fighting off pitches, looking for the fastball, fighting off any breaking ball, and at least ran his pitch count up just a little bit. Made him work. He's a big guy. Michael is 6'5", 220, out of Jupiter, Florida.
Well, Mike, he's going to be around the plate. Let's see if he can connect with a base hit. Mike's 3 for 54 this season as a hitter. Little pop behind first. Carpenter on the run. It's well foul, however, and that'll bounce off the track into the seats. Strike one.
I know you have a great catcher. I know you have a good pitcher on the mound, but the base running by Ender, getting to third base right there, taking a little risk with the pitcher coming up. Why did he do it? You don't want to lead off the next inning with the pitcher, but he knew he had it. He did it, and now as a pitcher, you know, hey, I don't want to bounce it here to a pitcher, so it takes that away, and it's the little things.
Now, Ender didn't go back and tag up right away. He was waiting to see if the ball might carry over Martinez's head, who is not a good defender himself.
And is playing very shallowly right now at right. As Mike didn't get that, it's 0-2.
It always hurt my feelings as a pitcher when I walked up to the plate. You know, in Little League, when the coach comes out of the dugout and says, hey, everybody in.
Yeah.
That hurts.
Foul back. It's 0-2. And that will retire the side. Michaelis has his second strikeout, and the Braves have left 3 through 2 innings. 3-0 St. Louis in game 1. On this date in 1941, 20-year-old Stan Musial made his major league debut with the Cardinals against the Boston Braves. Stan the Man went 2 for 4 with 2 RBIs in his big league debut. One of the greats of all time, number 6 for the St. Louis Cardinals.
Anybody know the announcers for that game?
I know one of them.
There you go. The great Bobby Cox wore number 6 because Stan Musial was his favorite player. Bobby grew up just south of Fresno, California, in Selma. I love the story that Bobby told at the Hall of Fame induction about his dad sewing spikes on the bottom of his dress shoes to make his first cleats. That was wonderful. And then he also told me that his dad, obviously very savvy with the hands, he built a pitching machine in his barn. And that's how he started to learn how to hit.
I'll be darned.
Stan Musial finished his major league career with a lifetime .331 batting average, 3,630 hits, 3-time MVP, 4 World Series championships, and 11 straight years hitting over 300. As Ozuna hits one a mile high and into the Hank Aaron Terrace and just foul. Goodness. He was standing and admiring that. That was as long a ball as we've seen hit down the line in Atlanta.
Everybody was standing and watching because it didn't look like it was going to be that close to being a fair ball.
It tried to come back. The next to last row, the Hank Aaron Terrace. Fan gets a souvenir from Ozuna. Ball one, strike one.
Joe, you talked about that sore shoulder. He got a cortisone shot in that shoulder, went on the DL for 10 days. And since he's come back, he's been much more effective, but still defensively a little sore. You're going to see him moving that shoulder around a little bit when he gets in the box.
Got to be thinking first to third on a base hit if you're the runner at first.
"37 pitches in the first for Foltynewicz, 8 in the second. He'll make his 5th pitch to Ozuna here, and it's fouled away.
For those of you who have not had a cortisone shot, it hurts. And for 3 days, you think I'm never going to play again. And then on that 4th or 5th day, all of a sudden you say, hey, put me in the lineup. You start feeling pretty good, but you need to give it a week to take effect.
That one's cut on and missed. Flowers can't find it. And Ozuna races to first, but he'll lose that race on a swing and a miss in the throw from Flowers.
Good job by Freeman to give Tyler a target in foul territory so as not to have the throw hit the runner.
Tyler had trouble finding that ball at first.
Well, it's not often when you have to put your head down to catch a ball that you expect the guy to swing at it. That was part of the issue.
So Mike set down 5 in a row, and he's starting to find the strike zone with the first pitch in a sequence. He walked Jerko. He scored on the Colton Wong double. And now a little chopper. Camargo in, up, and over. Easy play. 6 straight retired, 2 out.
There's that play we talked about earlier, like Butter. He comes in with a nice little underhanded flick, and the ball goes over to first like a laser. Very fun to watch.
So here's Molina. He was hit by a pitch with the bases loaded. That made it 1-0 St. Louis. And the Phillies just got a bases loaded triple from J.P. Crawford to pull to within a run. Up in Philadelphia, it's now 4-3 in the 5th inning.
He's a pretty good player. Doesn't get to play much. Crawford.
Swing and a miss. 1 ball, 1 strike. I'm not sure. He may have pinch hit for somebody in the middle innings, but
yeah, may have.
We will see the Phillies next, starting Thursday. 4 hugely important games. The Braves at the moment 6.5 games in front of Philadelphia in the East. And Molina skies one into shallow center. That will be playable for Ender, and he's got it. And that retires the side. Mike's been economical his last 2 innings. Now the top of the order will try to get going for the Braves. It's only 3-0, and we're through 2.5. Appreciation Day. Come on out to SunTrust Park and enjoy surprise giveaways and activities and free games in Hope and Will's Sandlot as the Braves say thank you for a great regular season. Visit Braves.com/promos for more details. Nice crowd on a hot, muggy Monday night here at SunTrust Park. Cardinals got 3 in the first. Mike Foltynewicz has settled in, retiring the last 7 in order. Let's see if Ronald Acuna Jr. can spark a 3rd inning rally. He's already singled to start his night.
I agree with that Braves Fan Appreciation Day. The fans have done a great job this year of responding to the Braves season, coming out, doing the iPhone chop, a lot of energy.
Braves have drawn 2.351 million fans this year, an average of 31,777.
You know when I knew they did a good job is when we played Boston. And Boston has packages where the fans is sometimes easier to go out of the city, so they offer all these packages and we drown them out.
Fouled away for a strike.
What?
They were trying.
Yes, no, trying hard. They have their patented chants and, you know, let's go Sox, and we booed them out, and it was beautiful to see.
Another foul ball by Ronald. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Big crowd expected tomorrow night for Game 2. Austin Gomber for St. Louis. Anibal Sanchez for the Braves. Then a Wednesday day game. Then that showdown with the Phillies Thursday night. Pitch. Just missed inside. Good take. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Michaelis wanted that. Full count. He's had a few of those in the game. Hasn't walked anybody yet. He has hit a batter. Both full counts have been to Ronald Acuna Jr. Who fought that off and into the second deck to our right. Still 3-2. And a swing and a miss. A slider up in the zone. Acuna is down on strikes. That's 3 for Michaelis, and that's how the home third starts.
This is his best 0-2 pitch. The slider. He also throws a little cutter and will throw that curveball early first pitch, or as a wipeout curve to lefties if it's 0-2. But this guy mixes his pitches very well.
He is always around the plate. Right now, nothing for the Braves hitters to eliminate. And he's not going to hurt himself with ball 4. Ozzie flied out to left. So he's 0 for 1. And that moved his feet. 2 balls, no strikes.
Another thing that helped him like Folty was the birth of his daughter Lillian, who was a 1.5 years old. And he was selected to the All-Star team this year, but was unable to make it because, again, his wife, Lauren, gave birth to twins.
Wow.
They were 2 weeks early. That's Madeline and Miles Jr.
3 balls and a strike.
So quite a lot of changes in his life.
That's lifted to the left and into the seats. Well, as you said, he signed that 2-year contract with the Cardinals. All the diapers they're going through, he's going to have no trouble paying for them.
Not a bit. I was just thinking the same thing. His life changed immediately when he got a deal from St. Louis.
That's why he's so good on the road. He gets to sleep.
Exactly. 8-0. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Time call.
out of play. In fact, his last loss on the road was 4 years ago. How'd you like to have a 4-year road winning streak?
That's a pretty good run.
Yeah.
Wow.
Again, he was originally a 7th-round pick by the Padres, was traded to the Pirates, then to Texas, then, as Paul said, 3 years in Japan. And then scooped up by St. Louis and signed to a 2-year deal. Here's the Mets and Phillies score. And they will head to the 6th inning at Citizens Bank Park. The 3-2 pitch. Now back. As I said before, it's a confounding thing for the Braves, who have been so good on the road, but are playing around .500 baseball here at SunTrust Park. You don't want that to happen the rest of this homestand, not with who's in town in this series and who's coming to town this weekend.
And the Braves have lost 12 of their last 16 at home. Is that what it is?
It's been a struggle. And they're down 3 here tonight in game 1. Pitch is high. There's a rare sight. A walk from Michaelis. Good at bat by Albies to foul off a few tough pitches. And now Freddie's the batter who struck out his first time up.
Struck out on a curveball down in the first inning. Michaelis has the option. He likes to throw that first pitch breaking ball to a lefty.
And this is, speaking of rare occurrences, look at how the Cardinals line up defensively. One of the few teams we've seen not shift at all for Freddie Freeman.
It is unusual.
And Jerko's well off the line at third, but slightly to pull on the left side of the infield, but not a dramatic overshift like we've seen against Freeman all year.
This is the mini shift.
So what does that tell a hitter, Joe, that Michaelis, what's he trying to accomplish with the defense lined up this way?
I'm not so sure it tells him anything. I think this is just a choice they've made to not take themselves out of a double play opportunity with their best middle infielders, given their defensive deficiencies.
And as we've seen, it doesn't really matter the team shift against Freeman. He can hit it over the shift to right. He can hit the ball over the shift to left, and he can guide one down the third base line when he's hot. And he's ahead in the count. 2 balls and a strike.
There's the difference right there. He's thrown 2 different kinds of breaking balls and 2 different kinds of fastballs in this at bat. Kind of like facing your uncle in a backyard wiffle ball game. He's going to throw the kitchen sink at you.
Bouncing ball, that is a foul ball. Carpenter couldn't glove it. It was foul anyway. We'll do it again. There's nothing better than when you hit a home run off your uncle in wiffle ball in the backyard, right?
Give the #1 sign running around the bases.
2 balls, 2 strikes.
Wow. Ozzie anticipated that throw before it was even made. He had his lead, and then he came back a full step back to first base before Michaelis ever threw over. He saw something.
Swing and a drive. That's headed for the bullpen. 1-run game. It's Michaelis who has to say uncle. It's a 1-run Cardinal lead. It's 3-2.
hit that so well. The only fear was that it had too much topspin. I was afraid it was going to hook down in and hit the fence before it got into the bullpen. Boy, the Braves needed something like that, kind of a shot like that in the arm to get everybody going.
Well, we talk all the time, Joe, about how good teams take advantage of opposing clubs' mistakes as they were. As Nick Markakis digs in, Michaelis almost never walks anybody. That is a mistake in front of Freddie Freeman. And 402 happy feet later, the Braves are down only 1 here in the 3rd inning.
And it was Albies who at times can be hard to walk.
That's a good point.
So he scored his 100th run. Freeman has hit his 22nd homer, now with 89 RBIs. And now it's a race to first. Michaelis will take it himself, and that's the 2nd out. With that run, Ozzie Albies, the first Brave to score 100 runs since Freddie Freeman did it a couple of years ago. And Freeman's 2nd homer against St. Louis this year has made it a 3-2 game for Johan Camargo.
You know, I've decided Freddie can hit anybody. You know those games we're playing the Mets and DeGrom's dealing and Freddie's 3 for 4?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, I just think the team needed a shot like that to kind of restart the game, especially for Mike Foltynewicz. He's back in the ball game.
And now it's Michaelis who's piling up the pitches. He's thrown 66 of them, and he's not out of the 3rd inning yet. No balls and a strike to Camargo, who takes up and away.
And Folty, as tough as the game has been for him at times control-wise, he's only given up 1 hit.
Right. Camargo right up on top of the plate is going to get a lot of that low pitch down and in to move his feet back off the plate, but he doesn't budge. He has every confidence that he can still handle anything inside. The one thing he's got to guard against is because he's so close to home plate. And just because he can reach a pitch away doesn't mean it's going to be a strike.
You'll see another pitch, 2 balls, 2 strikes, 3-2 now. Braves get a walk to Albies and a 2-run homer into the bullpen by Freddie Freeman to make it a 3-2 score. It's sliced out of play.
As pictured here, he can still turn on the ball.
So a 7-pitch at bat for Camargo. Michaelis is about to make his 34th pitch of this inning. So both starters have labored through a frame. Foltynewicz in the 1st, Michaelis here in the Atlanta 3rd. And the 2-2 around the plate. Another walk wouldn't hurt. And that was hunting Eric Young. Woo. EY still can fly.
Yeah.
Hit it the other way.
The more he ran, the more it hooked right at him. Again, another good reason why base coaches wear helmets.
Mm-hmm.
That one is tipped and caught. 36 pitches for Michaelis in the 3rd inning. One of them cost him 2 runs. Freddie Freeman, it's a 402-foot blast to right center. And the Braves are back in the game. We go to the 4th. It's 3-2 St. Louis. trust confidence play. Here's the road ahead for Atlanta. The final 3 opponents. 7 against the Phillies, who will be coming to town on Thursday night.
Well, those 2 teams with winning records, and you see what the Braves record is against them. Good numbers against the Mets, but that's a different Mets team also than the Braves have played earlier in the year. Now that they've got Syndergaard back.
Yeah, if you end up facing DeGrom, Syndergaard, and Wheeler, that's tough 3-game series. So that one 4-4 Phillies and Mets tonight. Here it's 3-2 St. Louis. Mike Foltynewicz has retired 7 straight. And the man that bested him for a 2-run double is Colton Wong. He leads off the Cardinal 4th.
See Brian Snitker right there. Talked to him earlier today, and I said, you know, what do you say to the players? Because do you say, hey, this is our magic number? Do you give them a finish line, a goal, talk about, think about? Everybody else is.
That's hammered to right field. That's a no-doubter into the chop house. Colton Wong has hit a home run, his 9th. So he's 2 for 2 with 3 RBIs for St. Louis, and it's now 4-2.
It's now 5 for 7 off of Foltynewicz too.
And you said, Joe, he's a candidate for the Gold Glove. Well, he's certainly hitting enough tonight to get notoriety.
Watch him pull his hands in there and get his hips cleared.
So St. Louis with a 2-run lead, 4-2. And Yairo Munoz, the center fielder, bounces to second for out number 1. Paul, you were saying about Brian Snitker?
About Snitker, and you know what he's going to say. I'm not worried about the magic number. I'm not worried about where we are going to clinch or if we are going to clinch. I'm worried about today's game right now. All energy, all focus on that and winning that game. And when you do that, I think it becomes simple.
I think they've done an excellent job of keeping their eyes on that day's prize. In 2018, as Michaelis bats with a strikeout and down 0-1.
And let us worry and talk about all the other stuff and matchups. But, you know, he'll get questions like, do you know what your postseason rotation is going to be?
Already?
That's what he's getting every day, and we're sitting there.
No kidding.
Yeah.
That's.
He just looks at him.
I bet he does what I just did. You start laughing.
Exactly. He says, you know, we're not there yet. We're worried about today.
Nice catch by a fan wearing a Freddie Freeman jersey. And it's 0-2 for Michaelis.
Even guys coming out of the pen, they'll say, Tuki, do you like him better as a starter or coming out of the pen? And what do you think about him for the playoffs? And guys, we're worried about today.
Yeah. Right about today's game.
That is pulled just foul at third. Michaelis flirted with an extra base hit. And those are really no-win answers for Brian Snitker. If he says one thing or the other, you wonder what the young players think about the answer. And if you say, well, we're not there yet, well, then some scribe might say, well, he's obviously doubting the fact that they're going to go to postseason play. But he's done an excellent job of diffusing that. As this one's popped to the left side, Camargo joins Dansby, and it'll be Swanson making the play.
I'm glad Dansby called him off that. That's his play. Especially the way Camargo was backpedaling.
Michaelis walking off the field with some batting gloves. Absolutely, Joe. That's his ball. Anything behind third because of the angle.
Johan's just excited.
Yeah.
He's back out there.
He hasn't caught one in 4 days.
All right.
There's Carpenter. He's walked, scored, and flied out. Leadoff homer by Wong in the 4th extends the Cardinal lead. It's 4-2. And this one's lifted into shallow left. Acuna coming on. It's going to hang up for him. And he'll make the play, and that retires the side. Home run number 9 for Colton Wong. 4-2 Redbirds. Inciarte leads off for Atlanta. Second baseman. 4-2 is your score. Enter Inciarte leads off the 4th inning. Fellas, and he's tonight's Synovus Greatness Made Here feature.
Real good numbers against the Cardinals in his career. 25 games worth. Already a base hit tonight. 5 extra base hits in his career. Be nice to see him get an inning started right here.
He singled with 1 out in the 2nd inning and was left at 3rd base after Mike Foltynewicz struck out. Bottom part of the order's up for the Braves. Michaelis coming off an inning where he threw 36 pitches. And if there has been an inning where Michaelis has had problems, it is the 4th, interestingly enough. There's a stat for everything, and they have broken down his ERA by inning. He's got a 5.59 ERA in the 4th inning this year. See if the Braves can bump that up a bit with a big inning. Out of play. 0-2.
If I could nitpick a little bit, I think when he had guys on, he rushed a little bit that last thing. I would love to see Ender get to first. You see that bite on that curveball was so nasty the first pitch, but Ender with 25 bags on the year, I'd love to see him get to first, put a little pressure.
I think that's consistent with some of his other numbers, Paul, when you see his average against him with runners in scoring position, 2 out runners in scoring position. Working out of the stretch, he's not as sharp.
But to get him in the stretch, you're going to have to hit him by and large.
Right.
A rare walk for him tonight cost him a run. And now he's ahead 0-2. And a ground ball to Wong at second. He's got it. And there's the first out. Tyler Flowers was hit by a pitch in the 2nd inning, so he'll look to extend a 3-game hitting streak tonight. As hot as it is and as high as the pitch counts are, I'd be shocked if either one of these guys are around in the 7th inning. Still got good velocity. And now 80 pitches with 1 out in the 4th. He has lived upstairs in this game. Shows something you pointed out against the Nationals. A lot of high fastballs being seen by the Braves these last 3-4 days.
And the Braves have laid off several, but not all of them. Almost hit him again with that breaking ball.
One thing's for sure, he's not getting out of the way.
Nope.
A little pop toward first, but that'll slice into the seats. We'll do it again for Tyler. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
See Tyler's numbers. He's got 28 RBIs, 7 homers. And you think, well, that's not many RBIs. And then you realize, okay, he doesn't play every day. He splits time with Kurt. But at the same time, if you go back and look at when he drove in those runs, when he hit his home runs, they've all seemed to come at real key times.
And the guys he hit the home runs against.
True.
You hit a home run off Chris Sale. You're
Brad Hand
having a terrific year. Flowers hit a 2-run homer in the 4th inning yesterday off Tanner Roark. Now he's got a full count. A lot of deep counts by Michaelis' standards in this game. And another chance at second. To a knee goes Wong, and there's the second out.
I played with a lot of guys, and I'm sure Paul did too, that would come away from a game going 2 for 4 with a couple of RBIs, but the RBIs were late in the game. That didn't mean anything. When he came up early in the game with the bases loaded, either struck out or whatever. So that's what I'm kind of referring to with Tyler. They seem to be at key moments.
Dansby had a 9-pitch at bat in the 2nd inning. He flied out to Martinez. So Dansby's 0 for 1. See if he can reach and clear Mike Foltynewicz in a 2-run Cardinal game. 4-2 St. Louis. He's pulled a few pitches like that tonight.
Watch Molina give the sign here. He's been waiting on Dansby, but as Dansby's getting his foothold, he's already giving them the sign because Michaelis likes to work quickly. Waiting on him, foot down, ready to go.
Now 2-2. And a breaking ball froze him, and that is the inning. 3 up, 3 down. First perfect frame for Michaelis. 2, 3, and 4 coming up for St. Louis. Atlanta.
Visit your nearest Advance Auto Parts store to get the quality parts you want from people that know a lot about them.
Mike Foltynewicz back to work with Jose Martinez, Paul DeJong, and Marcell Ozuna. It's the 5th inning. And the 5th inning is brought to you by Audi Q5. Big swing and a miss by Jose Martinez, who's grounded out twice. 0-1.
It was nice. Took a little off that first pitch breaking ball.
Martinez was a very nice find for the Cardinals. He hit 8 home runs in June for them. He's playing some first base for them. And this one's lined to deep right field. Will the park hold that? It will. It's off the bricks. Ender backs up the play, and Martinez on his way to second and slides in with a double. He's got some pop, folks. That's his 25th double. And his first extra base hit since August 28th.
Well, it was almost a long extra base hit. Ballpark barely held it. Strong man. And maybe the first time all year that a ball's come off the wall and gotten past Nick. There's something not right about Mike tonight. I don't know what it is, and we may not know until after the game, and there may not be anything wrong, but he just doesn't look right.
Well, you pointed that out on the Paul DeJong ground ball to first after he made the play on the 3-1 putout. He was bending over at the first base bag.
Yeah, he had to cover twice in the first inning, and he just, I don't know if he's not feeling well or what.
Everything is up right now, and normally he throws up when he wants to for the strikeout. He turns the dial up, but right now most of his pitches are missing up, and when he's tried to execute his slider down, he's bounced it.
You saw a shake of the head after he missed with the ball 2 pitch to DeJong, and got that one called. 2 balls and a strike. I mean, he's been very economical after the first inning. Only 1 run since the first frame. That was the Colton Wong homer. And that one is smoked to deep left center field, and that one's not coming back. Paul DeJong has hit a 2-run homer. So the Cardinals have hit homers in back-to-back innings. It's now 6-2 St. Louis.
That ball was squashed.
Straight fastball down the middle, 95 miles an hour. DeJong turns on it.
Mike didn't even look. He knew.
How still DeJong's head was on that.
Marcell Ozuna drives one to right. That ball is deep. That ball is near the wall. Markakis leaps, can't get that. That's going to bounce back toward the infield. Ozzie backs it up. And it's 3 straight extra base hits for St. Louis in the 5th inning. So the Cardinals, who are trying to make a statement in this series, they are neck and neck with the Dodgers for the 2nd wild card in the National League. They are threatening to blow the game open.
Bell tied down the middle, straight.
Ball is just up right now, as we talked about. And we're used to almost perfection with Mike. I mean, the last 8 starts have been outstanding. This is just one of those where you cross it off, you forget about it, and you move on.
And again, I'll repeat, this is a rare start for Foltynewicz where he doesn't have a single pitch that he can count on to get a strike with in this game. We have not seen much of that at all this year. It was pretty much from the opening bell. The Cardinals got 3 runs on 1 hit in the first inning, 4 walks, and a hit batsman. Max Fried was up earlier. Now Sam Freeman is getting loose. 1 ball, 1 strike. That was thrown with some anger. And it's 1-2. Jed Jerko fouls that off. It's 1-2 to the Cardinal third baseman. Cardinals, like so many clubs, very successful when they hit home runs. They're 73-35 when they hit at least 1 homer. They've got 2 in as many innings tonight. As this one's tapped slowly towards short. Dansby in, up and over. And the runner to third with 1 out is Ozuna, and Yadier Molina's coming up.
You never know what it might be to kind of light a fire under your team. Certainly the managerial change and Mike Schilt coming on to take over this team seemed to do that. But also, they were just getting pounded by the Dodgers. Ton of homers, big runs, run totals. And last night, Adam Wainwright, in only his 2nd start, I think since May, fires a shutout at them for 6 innings. And they went on to shut out the Dodgers and picked up a big win. And watching him pitch last night, he was fired up. He was walking off the mound with some fist pumps. And I think the Cardinals were inspired by that last night after that series wasn't going their way, and they came to town feeling pretty good about themselves after that game last night.
Yeah, man, they called Uncle Charlie. Had a good one, didn't he, last night?
Yes, he did. Adam was terrific.
So the infield's in for Molina. 1 ball, no strikes. And a swing and a miss. It's 1-1. This will be Mike's last inning. He's scheduled to hit first in the Atlanta half of the 5th inning. So this is one of those, give us everything you got for the next 2 hitters if you can. As good news in Philadelphia, Michael Conforto with a 2-out hit has given the Mets the lead again, 5-4. And driven out of play.
Nice swings and misses tonight.
No.
That was his best fastball. Down and away, 95, had umph on it. It wasn't knee high on the black, but it was sneaky, and you see Molina foul. He doesn't do that much. He fouled that off. It overmatched him. That's the difference in that fastball tonight. 6 inches in the zone.
Ozuna at third. A 2-run homer by DeYoung here in the 5th inning. He had a nice save by Flowers. Now 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Schulte was quoted as saying, "I am learning how to pitch in September. Everything counts for so much." I think something that he will learn from this game is in that first inning. I thought he tried too hard at times.
Well, we know that Julio has a tough time in the first inning, a very high ERA in the first compared to the rest of the game. That's not the case with Mike. He's typically not a slow starter that way.
Yeah.
So Sean Newcomb yesterday, Mike Foltynewicz tonight, back-to-back games where 3 runs came across in the first. Braves tried to dig out of that hole but fell 6-4 yesterday. They're down 6-2 tonight. And the 2-2 is hit sharply to first on contact. Runners coming home, and Ozuna's in a rundown. Camargo will make the play there. Good play by Freeman on a hard hit ball by Molina. Ozuna's run down for the 2nd out.
Excellent play on a fastball up and away. Shot to first base. Freeman with some nice reactions.
Good job closing there by Camargo to get the tag too.
And that's going to be the final pitch thrown by Mike Foltynewicz tonight. He will depart trailing 6-2 in the top half of inning number 5 at SunTrust. Runs. Let's take a look at StatCast AI powered by AWS.
Well, both of their home runs tonight have been touched off. 404-footer there for Colton Wong into the chop house. That was a no-doubter. So was DeYoung's this inning.
So Sam Freeman will enter the game. Lefty-lefty matchup here for Sam. See if he can have an easy time of it here. Get this game to the bottom of the 5th inning. Atlanta's hoping it'll be a one-batter faced appearance for Sam Freeman. And downstairs, ball 1. If Atlanta's going to come back, Paul, beg your pardon, the one thing that we've seen over the last 7 to 10 games cannot happen tonight. Braves cannot walk anybody.
That's one of the reasons I love watching this team so much. They're never out of it. I don't know what they're going to do. I don't know when they're going to do it. It may be the 8th inning. It may be the 6th. But they are going to fight to the end. They're not going to give away at-bats. But you're right. We can't afford to give any more free passes or make it easy on St. Louis.
2 balls, no strikes. Molina's not going to go anywhere with that bad hamstring. And Sam's promptly gone 3-0 to the left-hand hitter.
He's walked 3. He's walked 1 in each of his last 3 outings. He's also struck out 4 over that period, which covers 3 innings. But it's that first batter faced that's so important too. 38 retired out of 59 opportunities for Sam.
Who is a former Cardinal. 3-1 pitch. Hit high in the air to straightaway center. And Ender had to move 3 steps to his right. He was perfectly placed to handle that. And a nice comeback by Sam Freeman to get Colton Wong. But DeYoung hits a 2-run homer to extend the Cardinal lead. It's 6-2. The Braves fantasy camper. You'll report to camp in Orlando where you'll get a personalized uniform, quality time with Braves alumni, and a whole lot more. Space is limited, so sign up for fantasy camp now at braves.com/fantasycamp. 6 runs in 4 2/3 innings. The final line for Mike Foltynewicz as he and the Braves trail by 4 runs now. And it looks like Rio Ruiz will pinch hit for Sam Freeman, who was responsible for retiring Colton Wong. He did that. Let's see if Rio can start a 5th inning rally. Then the top of the order's coming up against Miles Michaelis, who's up to 90 pitches. They're walking around in the Cardinals pen. So might see some action down there with a long inning for the Atlanta offense.
He had some tough luck last night. They brought Bud Norris into the game after Wainwright, and I don't believe he retired a hitter before developing a bad blister on his middle finger.
Yeah, he threw 7 pitches and had to come out because of that. We'll see who Mike Schilt and Mike Maddox close in this series. As Rio is down on a ball in the dirt, 3 pitches retires him. And that's how the home 5th starts. That's 6 strikeouts for Michaelis. Cardinals also did something rather unique. They took Carlos Martinez out of the rotation and put him in the bullpen, where he's been very good. That solidified things down there. So back to the top, and Acuna. Ronald has singled and he has struck out. Line drive into center field. He's got 2 hits. Well, he is piling up the multi-hit games, isn't he? Didn't waste any time. Picked out a good pitch and knocked it into center field for his 2nd single.
Fastball up. Not too much tail. Acuna did a nice job of staying on top of it. And again, this guy can pull the ball with the best of them. He can also go the other way. Is an incredible swing.
Had an interesting note in the Cardinals media notes today that he and right fielder Jose Martinez are 3rd cousins, born in the same town in Venezuela.
First pitch popped by Albies to left. That's the 2nd time that's happened for Ozzie. 2 outs. And now Freddie Freeman, the batter, coming off a 400-foot home run. His last time up in the 3rd. They go to the 8th inning in Philadelphia. Zach Wheeler and the Mets lead 5-4. Phillies have 4 runs and only 3 hits in that game. Cardinals have 6 runs with 5 hits. Redbirds got 4 walks, 3 of them scored in the 1st inning. And an awkward swing by Freeman there. Strike 1.
I like this again. Acuna on first base, who can run, take a bag. The last time in this situation, Michaelis rushed a little bit. We'll see if he's able to hold the runner and take enough time to gather and make good pitches to home.
Fly ball center. Munoz is there, and that retires the side. No runs, a hit, a man left. Bottom part of the Cardinal order coming up in the 6th.
on to pitch for Atlanta. And we want to send the biggest congratulations to our good friend and colleague, Jeff Francoeur, and his sweet wife, Katie, on the birth of their third child today. That is Eleanor Caroline Francoeur, or Ellie. She is 6 pounds, 14 ounces, just born today. So Braden and Emma Kate have a new little sister, Jeff and Katie. We are absolutely thrilled for you guys. And Katie, once again, my girl, you are an absolute rock star.
With 4 children at home, Katie, God bless you.
Yeah. 3 of them under the age of 7. And one slightly older.
Yes. What a beautiful baby.
Congratulations.
Yairo Munoz leads off for St. Louis and takes a strike from Luke Jackson, the third Atlanta pitcher to work tonight. So if Luke can pile up a few innings and give the Braves bats a chance to catch up tonight. It's 6-2 St. Louis.
I think Luke has done a great job this year. The ERA higher than he would like. Had some tough outings like the one in Arizona, but for the most part, when he has come in games, he has done very well. And bridged the gap, covering some big innings. Good breaking ball, gets out lefties better than righties. But I think you'll see improvement as he continues his career.
Little tapper. That should be a good start with a good play. Camargo made it. Nice barehanded grab. 1 out.
There you go, Paul.
How do you do it? Blowing the bubble. This is the running man. He's going to grab it with his right hand. Not a lot of time. Little razzle dazzle. Again, throwing from the side and putting some heat on it, Joe.
One of the best arms in the National League from any angle.
So the night is done for Michaelis. That's good news for Atlanta. This is Greg Garcia. Greg will pinch hit. And he shoots 1 to third. Knocked down by Camargo. Recovers, fires in time. Easy out.
Well, he had a slow roller, and now he's a hockey goalie. Knocks it down, and again, showing off that good arm.
Yeah, Freddie didn't even have to stretch for this one.
The guy Ozzy calls Mr. FaceTime. So I said to Johan, ¿Cómo se dice Mr. FaceTime en español? And he said, Senor FaceTime. I said,
It's
thanks
universal,
a lot.
isn't it?
Yeah,
Right?
You really helped me there. Appreciate that.
Good cut by Carpenter. Down a strike now. 0-1. Carpenter walked and scored in the first. He's flied out to left since twice. He's closing in on 1,000 hits in his major league career. He's 8 away from that. And there was a time where many in Cardinal Nation were saying that this guy deserves strong consideration for the MVP award, especially you factor in he was hitting $140 in May. He's hitting in the 260s now.
Very Paul Goldschmidt of him.
Yes, sir.
So Goldschmidt's up at 300.
3 groundouts for Luke Jackson. That'll help Atlanta. Markakis, Camargo, and Ender coming up in a 4-run game. are coming up. And Nick is the subject of tonight's Zaxby's indescribably good play.
He likes playing against the Redbirds, doesn't he? Last 10 games against him, a very high average, 6 RBIs, 2 for 9 with a homer against him in St. Louis earlier this year.
And the Braves will take aim at a new Cardinal pitcher. It's left-hander Tyler Webb. He made his Cardinal debut in late July against the Cubs. He's given up 3 earned runs in his last 5 outings, covering 2 2/3 innings.
Fastball, changeup, slider. Fastball in the low 90s. It used to be if you heard about a pitcher that was in the low 90s, they had a good fastball. Now you hear about a guy that's 89 to 91 and you go, oh, it's got to be a sinker baller.
Well, and he's below league average, which is unusual for someone coming out of the pen.
There's 92, top end.
He was more than a strikeout per inning man with AAA Memphis. That's the Cardinals' top farm club. They're playing Durham, by the way, in the International League Championships. Memphis and Durham, both terrific years this year. Durham, the Rays affiliate. This one's hit toward Ozuna in left. He's got it. And Markakis has played Pepper with Ozuna for the first time. He's 0 for 3, 1 out.
I asked the scout today, Joe, what is the reason for the velocity jump in the last 15 years, which is almost chip up to 5 miles an hour? And he believed it was the training. And they have all these new devices, and I'm thinking, are the radar guns the same? Is it picking it up out of the hand sooner? Is that the reason? And he said, no, they really are throwing harder. He thinks guys are bigger. They're more specialized earlier with all of the jobs and the throwing programs and the emphasis on velocity.
Mechanics, the improvements in teaching mechanics to hitters or to pitchers, and that's what I hear more and more is about are things like using their bottom lower half more than just your arm.
I think I snuck in under the wire with my 85-mile-an-hour cutter.
Timing's everything, Paul.
It is. You got to know when to peak.
I'm still waiting for that time. 1 ball, 2 strikes for Johan Camargo in a 6-2 Cardinal game.
I saw you at the carnival in Milwaukee throwing at the bottles. You were pretty good.
Yeah, still haven't recovered. Torn labrum. Line drive into center, a base hit for Camargo. Well, the Braves are trying to chip away at these guys. They've evened them up in the hit column. Let's see if they can keep the line rolling here with Ender coming up.
Got that foot down quickly and good extension.
Ender's had a terrific second half, coaching a .300 average after the All-Star break, and a lot of that, guys, is because of his work against lefties. Ender's picking up his share of hits against southpaws. 12 for his last 26 against them, with a double, a triple, and a homer. That's a .462 average for a man that was hitting under .200 against them in the first half of the year.
Ender had to make some adjustments at the All-Star break, more or less, and he did. Very helpful. Leg kick, a little balance, a little better balance, what he called a little better rhythm, and using his hands a whole lot more than his body, which early in the season, especially like in May and June, I thought he was really flying open and just trying to use his whole body to get the bat through there.
No balls, 2 strikes. Fought that off to stay alive.
We talked about him working with Seitzer, moving the hands away from his body a little bit, and that leg kick, who he first tried it out against Max Scherzer, which how can you tell if you're getting better facing Max Scherzer? But he got a couple hits and stuck with it and has been lights out ever since.
Webb ready, the 0-2. Line into left center field. That'll get down. Ender's good work continues. Ball dropped by Munoz, and Atlanta's going to pick up a couple of extra bases. There's the Cardinal defense. or the lack thereof. A single and an error on Munoz in center, and the Braves have him second and third, and Mike Shildt is on his way to the mound.
Excellent base running by Ender, getting out of the box, not assuming anything. And you see this lapse, no hesitation by Ender. Camargo cruised, and Ender sliding into second in a big play.
So Webb has woven some trouble for the Cardinals. 2 hits, 2 aboard, 1 out, and Dakota Hudson, a hard-throwing right-hander, is the next St. Louis pitcher.
The 6th inning, and thanks to the error by Munoz, they've got him at second and third. Now, when you've got a 4-run lead and a base hit, you shouldn't even be thinking about the guy at third. But look, he looked up and was watching Camargo, who had no designs on going to third base. He looked up, missed the ball, and now allowed 2 men to get into scoring position when he should have been thinking about just keeping the double play in order.
So let's see if Tyler Flowers and the Braves can take advantage of that against Dakota Hudson, who just turned 24 years of age. Supplemental first-round pick in 2016 for St. Louis out of Mississippi State. Jan Hartzog's alma mater, our great stat man upstairs. And Hudson, rated as having the best slider in the Cardinals organization, misfires with ball 1.
That slider averages 91.2 miles an hour, a curve 86, and his fastball 96, 97 miles an hour.
And there it was. 17-game winner is Hudson. 13 victories at AAA and 4 with the Cardinals.
That's a good year.
Yeah. Kind of a Kyle Wright-like weapon for St. Louis. Hard throwing right-hander. And there it is again.
That's a good comparison.
.65 .215 out of Dunlap, Tennessee. That's Braves country. And that's off the plate. Tyler's our AARP Take On Today feature. Good run over the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, 9 RBIs in his last 13 games. And as I said earlier, he may not have a ton of RBIs, but they come in key spots. This is one of those spots right here.
And we've got a lot of baseball left tonight. Get a run or two here, and you've got a ball game again. 2 balls, 2 strikes, and fought off. Mets go to the 9th inning, leading the Phillies 5-4. Washington and the Marlins are tied 5-5 down at Marlins Park. Washington led that game 4-zip. Cubs are in Arizona, just underway, no score in Phoenix. Do or die time for Arizona. They're in trouble out west. Hudson ready with another 2-2 pitch. Swing and a line drive to center. That'll get a run home. Both runners will tag. Camargo on his way to third, and he will stand in. Ball got away, and Ender's going to come home and score. Thank you very much.
Defense. Defense, my kingdom for some defense.
It's unbelievable. The Cardinals have gift wrapped 2 runs for Atlanta, and Mike Schultz can't believe it.
The Braves base running this year has been aggressive. It has put pressure on the opposing defense, and they do it again. Munoz caught the ball over the wrong shoulder, took a bad crow hop, and threw it almost into their dugout. I mean, this wasn't even close to third base. DeYoung can't even flag it down. The pitcher's over backing up home plate. Nobody there to get it. Thank you.
I'm a little confused. Dakota Hudson did not throw his best pitch the last 2 pitches when it was 2-2. Credit Tyler Flowers for fouling off a 98-mile-an-hour fastball down and in, and then getting the job done again.
This one's bounced towards second. Dansby Swanson will be retired. But a couple of errors by Munoz in center cost the Cardinals 2 runs, 4 bases, and we've got a game again. Can you believe it? We go to the 7th. 6-4 now. St. Louis in front. It'll happen on the 7th inning stretch. It's presented by Synovus, the bank of here. I'm sure the gun show will be out tonight as the Braves and Cardinals match up in a big series here in Atlanta this evening.
You put Jerome and BJ back together. It's just, you know, Katie bar the door out there.
Yeah, it's Mr. Universe and Mr. Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
I've been doing curls and tricep extensions for a while. I just can't catch them.
No.
Well, your shirt's too big.
So they'll be talking about the great race in the National League as Jose Martinez leads off the 7th for St. Louis. Braves are back in the game. Another 0 from Luke Jackson would be nice here. He's scheduled to lead off the home half of the 7th inning. So get these guys in order. Martinez, DeYoung, and Ozuna, the 2, 3, and 4 hitters for St. Louis. Jerome and BJ will be talking about the National League wild card race. It is a doozy. Milwaukee leads the wild card. The Cardinals and Dodgers are tied for the 2nd wild card. Arizona's 4 back.
Milwaukee is pounding the Reds tonight, 8-0.
1 ball, 2 strikes for Martinez. Doubled off the wall in right. And scored ahead of DeYoung's homer in the 5th inning. So we've talked a lot about the Braves' walk problems. Those are mistakes. Cardinals with 2 bad errors in center field gift wrapped a couple of runs for Atlanta in the game. And again, Cardinals are a good team. The Braves are a real good team too. You make a mistake, they're going to cash it in.
We'll go back to the 5th inning when Ozuna's ball almost went out of the ballpark. It stayed in the park for a double. He got to third, but then got cut down at the plate by Freddie's good throw. Prevented an extra run from scoring.
Jose Martinez, another good story. Got to the show when he was 29 years old. He was the batting champ in Kansas City in AAA the year before when they won the World Series. Did not get called up. St. Louis signed him as a free agent. Another good pickup by the Cardinals.
887 games in the minor leagues before he got a chance to get to the big leagues. He was briefly in the Braves system in 2014. After that year, he went to the Royals as a minor league free agent. And got his first call up last year, or excuse me, 2 years ago in St. Louis. Hit .438.
It's rare that a guy in your minor league system leads the league in hitting and doesn't get a call up. I don't know what extenuating circumstances there were. Maybe the roster was full and the Royals couldn't find a place for him, but that's rare.
They didn't want to scare the rest of the American League. You know what his batting average was when he won the batting title? .384.
Goodness. How many at bats?
341. He had 131 hits, scored 57 runs. He did that in 98 games with Omaha in 2015. That was the highest batting average since Gene Woodling hit .385 in 1948 for the San Francisco Seals. Back to the mound. There's a break. Martinez swung at ball 4 and paid the price. Thank you very much. Jackson's retired all 4 Cardinal hitters.
Cardinals are 5th in the league in runs scored. They are 3rd in homers. If you didn't know that, I mean, it's not just Carpenter hitting them. 3rd in homers, 8th though in on base percentage, and unlike most St. Louis teams, they're 12th in stolen bases. Used to be the Cardinals were always at the top of the league in that category.
You know, the number that jumped out at me on that stolen base stat was not so much the number of steals, but the number of times they've been caught. 61 steals have been caught 31 times. So they've been an inefficient base running club. They lead by 2, however. 1 out for DeYoung, who hit a homer his last time up and didn't get that one from Jackson. It's 0-2. That's hammered toward left. Acuna won't get it. That'll bounce into the bullpen. So on an 0-2 pitch, DeYoung has a 2-base hit. And he's in scoring position with 1 out, his 2nd extra base hit and his 20th double of the year.
Little slider cut too much of the plate right there.
He's got to prevent him from scoring. The Braves got back in the game last night, or yesterday afternoon, you might remember, against the Nationals. Got to within 5-4, and then the Nationals got an add-on run in the 9th, made it even harder, and eventually won by that score 6-4.
Yeah, got the first 2 outs to the Braves in the 9th and 3 straight singles. Brought home that insurance run. So here's Ozuna. He's walked and doubled. He's scored a run. And up and away, ball one. Good news in Philadelphia. The Mets have added to their lead in the ninth inning. It's now 6-4 New York. And the parade of Phillies relievers is continuing for Gabe Kapler. Atlanta leads by 6.5 over the Phillies in the East. The magic number is 8. And high, ball two. A lot of big showdown series in baseball tonight, certainly in the National League. Big one out west. Colorado and the Dodgers go toe to toe. Colorado with a half-game lead over LA. In the National League West, the Rockies have never won the Western Division title. John Gray is the man on the mound for the Rockies. Hyun-Jin Ryu will try to subdue a Rockies offense that scored runs in one inning in their series against the Giants and were shut out twice at Coors Field.
That's crazy.
How does that happen? Two balls and a strike for Ozuna. Dan Winkler is up in the Braves pen.
Don't give in here. If anything, if you want to throw that slider again, this is the time to do it. But make it off the plate or at the outside corner and off the plate.
He threw it 2-0. I expect it again here.
Slider fills up the count.
Back it up. Do it again.
Here comes the 3-2. Little pop, but that'll reach the stands.
Nice play, sir. Oh, never mind. Cardinals.
At least their fans could catch it. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Need a big pitch from Jackson here. You've got Jerko and Molina lurking. 1 on, 1 out. And no such luck. It's ball 4. The double play in order, however. And Jerko will be the next St. Louis hitter. Stick around for the middle of this 7th inning. It's the stretch presented by Synovus, the bank of here. Hopefully that's coming up after Jed Jerko hits into a double play.
Doesn't run all that well. Ground ball might get you too.
Coming off a groin strain as well. He's only been back for about 3 days, but loves fastballs.
First pitch. Yeah.
Again, you can pitch him backwards.
One of 3 Cardinals in double digits in double plays. Jerko's wrapped into 10 of them. He's hit the ball on the ground twice tonight. Can Jackson make it a 3rd time here? Ground ball, 3rd base, 2nd base, 1. That's all Atlanta gets. So Jerko wraps slowly to 3rd. The Braves force Ozuna. DeYoung at 3rd, Jerko at 1st. 2 are out, and it'll be Yadier Molina.
I know that they knew they had to hurry, but Camargo's feed was off the mark, and Ozzie had to make sure that they got 1.
I was a little nervous there when he didn't get up. He had a runner on 3rd.
Me too. I was worried that he might be hurt.
So Molina is the batter. Remember, he has that very bad left hamstring. Even if you don't field the ball cleanly here, remember who's running. He was hit by a pitch that brought home a 1st inning run for the Cardinals. He's popped out and he's hit to that fielder's choice. Sharply hit, by the way, to right. And a strike from Jackson. 0-1. Talked earlier tonight about number 6, Stan Musial, great Cardinal legend and Hall of Famer. I'm pretty sure number 4 at some point is going to be hanging among the Cardinal Immortals when Yadier Molina is through playing. One of the game's great defensive catchers who's made himself an outstanding offensive player. And like Adam Wainwright, heart and soul of his Cardinal club. He signed through the 2020 season. He's 36 years old. And he's behind 0-2.
Crowd starting to respond to this situation. Jackson put some heat on that last fastball. He can do that again. He overmatched him on the fastball early, or he can go to that good slider. The crowd.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Runner goes, fly ball center. Ender broke back, but he's going to recover and he's going to make the play. Great job by Luke Jackson to keep it a 2-run game. 9-1-2 coming up for Atlanta. It's time for the stretch. Let's join Jerome and BJ here at SunTrust Park.
Welcome to the stretch, presented by Synovus, the bank of here.
Welcome to the stretch, presented by Synovus. Hello again, everyone. Jerome Jurenovich, Brian Jordan out on the Fox Sports set in the Battery right outside the right field gate. No surprise, the Cardinals came in here playing hungry. They're one of many teams fighting for a wild card spot. The Milwaukee Brewers, another one. They're both chasing the the Cubs in the Central. Milwaukee going up against the Reds tonight. It was a 1-0 game when Domingo Santana sends out number 5 of the season, a solo shot that made it 2-0. And after that, 2 batters later, Christian Yelich came to the plate. And like he did almost every time tonight, got a hit. This time, it was his 31st home run of the season. Yelich hit for the cycle again.
Wow.
Second time this season.
No way.
They're blowing him out 8-0 in the 8th. Yelich, just the 3rd player in Major League history with 2 cycles in 1 season. Babe did it. The other Babe Herman, and Aaron Hill. Yelich, the 1st player in Major League history to do it twice against the same team in the same season. As you can see, they lead the wild card by 3 games, and everybody else is chasing. The Cardinals and the Dodgers right behind him. They are tied for that 2nd wild card spot. Arizona kind of has a shot, but boy, they're running out of time. You want to focus on the Cardinals and the Dodgers for that 2nd spot, BJ. And right now, it's a toss-up.
It is a toss-up. You look out there in the West, the Dodgers and the Rockies go at it tonight, so that is a huge matchup. But the Cardinals and Milwaukee Brewers, I mean, both of these teams have been playing some excellent baseball in that Central, and it's going to come down to the wire. But my man, Christian Yelich, how much can you say about this guy? Miami gives this guy up, and he goes to Milwaukee, and he's having a phenomenal year. MVP-type year, Jerome.
He will definitely receive MVP votes, no question. Before we get you up to the 3 amigos, a quick word from our friends at Synovus.
Visit Synovus for your banking, lending, and investing needs. Proudly serving you across the Southeast. Synovus, the bank of here.
Great job on the stretch, fellas. Yeah, the races in the wild card in the National League are going to be an awful lot of fun to follow. Again, Chan Hartzog with a great note. Christian Yelich has hit for the cycle twice this year. No Marlin has ever hit for the cycle, and he is a former Marlin. Yairo Munoz moves from center to right. Harrison Bader, a plus defender, takes over in center field. Dakota Hudson to work against Preston Tucker, pinch hitting for Luke Jackson, who worked 2 very important scoreless innings. 1 hit, 1 walk for Jackson, no strikeouts. And more importantly, no runs. This is where the Braves have been so good. 7th, 8th, and 9th innings. High fly ball toward left. Ozuna to the track in the corner, has just enough room to haul it in front of the fence. Preston Tucker gave it a ride, but is retired for out number 1. Great news to report from Philadelphia. The Mets have blown the game open. They've scored 4 runs in the 9th inning and are still batting, leading 9-4 over the Phillies. Let's see if the Braves can come back and trim that magic number to 6. As Acuna takes outside, Hudson versus Acuna, two terrific young players squaring off here.
And he just spit on a 92-mile-an-hour slider 2 inches off the plate.
Popped him up this time, however. And Jerko and DeYoung will converge. It's going to be Jerko at the grass. And there's out number 2. Ozzy's the batter. He's walked, scored, and flied to left twice. Ozzy got to the 100-run mark for Atlanta. He scored ahead of Freddie Freeman's 2-run homer in the Braves' 3rd. One ball, no strikes. A little late, even count. Ozzy's chasing after another very impressive mark this year. He's got 66 extra base hits. That's the 4th most by a Braves middle infielder in team history. The record is 72, set by Marcus Giles back in 2003. And he's got a base hit here with 2 outs. Big turnaround first. Helmet goes flying, but that's a big base hit because it brings up Freeman, who's already homered tonight. So good work by Ozzy to give Freddie Freeman a chance for another magical moment here. In fact, it's our Coors Light refreshing finish.
A no-doubter into the Braves bullpen. 403 feet. Kind of lit the fuse a little bit for Atlanta offensively.
First pitch swing by Freddie. That one's slicing down the line and into the stands. Strike 1.
And I thought the launch angle on his home run was 27 degrees, but it was actually 28.
You were off.
I was off. It's hard being up here in the booth.
Well, if it had been 27, it probably would have hit off the yellow line. That was what Joe was talking about.
Right. No, you're usually spot on.
I appreciate you noticing that. And how about Ozzy's hit the other way to get this started? Really nice piece of hitting. Didn't try to pull it to get the big fella up.
No balls and a strike from Hudson. The pitch downstairs. It's an even count.
Young pitcher on the mound who uses that slider very effectively. Molina calls for it down and in. You better bury it down and in. He wants it down again. See what this is. This might be fastball.
1-1 pitch. It was at 96.
He put it right where Molina wanted it.
Hudson's trying to get the Cardinals through the 7th. He's due 3rd, I believe, in the 8th inning. As the pitch comes home and it moves Freddie's feet. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
As a pitcher, you can't help but notice things in the stadium, either when you're on the mound or during the game. And when you look up and you see Acuna 25 home runs, Albies 22, Freeman 22, Camargo 18. You say, my God, where do I get a break? You don't.
Up the middle. That's a base hit right through the wickets. And you don't run on Harrison Bader. He is a Gold Glove candidate in center for the Cardinals. So back-to-back hits with 2 outs, and Nick Markakis is coming up. And what is it about the Braves in the 7th, 8th, and 9th innings? It's incredible.
Right through Dakota Hudson's legs, and a wise choice here by Ozzy. as Bader got to that quickly. You don't want to make the last out in an inning at third base. You get Markakis up there, who's leading the team in RBIs.
And Markakis drove in 6 runs against the Cardinals, including a grand slam on June 30th. It was the Braves' 11-4 win in St. Louis behind Max Fried's 11 strikeout game. Nick would settle for a single here. He's got 2 on and 2 out. And takes inside. Ball 1. Hudson has a terrific arm. He's given up 7 runs in 10 road appearances this year. Hope that trend continues here with 2 out.
Excellent take by Markakis on that first pitch.
That would have broken his bat if he'd swung at it.
Two balls, no strikes. Nick Markakis has been one of the best 2-out hitters in baseball this year. He's got a hitter's count. And he almost got hit. 3-0.
Well, he's the go-ahead run. Your leading RBI guy. Cutting him loose. 3-0.
Good speed aboard at second and first. 6-4 St. Louis. Markakis way ahead. 3 balls, no strikes.
That was the slider. Hard slider, like almost like a cutter in there.
That tells you he was thinking like you were thinking. This guy's swinging 3-0. I'm going to give him something looks like a heater that he can drive, but it's not.
So was Molina.
All bets are off now, though, as Hudson wants to ponder this very important 3-1 pitch. Chopper, foul. And now it's 3-2. And so with 2 outs, the call to the races. Albies and Freeman will take off. Ball in the gap might score Freeman if Markakis can provide that.
Ozuna playing him a little toward the line in left field and somewhat shallow.
So here we go, 3-2. Runners go. Swing and a drive. That's down the line and right. That ball is off the wall. 1 run scores. Here comes Freddie. He's going to stop. It's a double to right, and the Braves are within a run. That's one where Nick almost hit it too hard to bring Freddie home. The Cardinals played the ricochet perfectly. And Hudson's road woes continue. Atlanta with 3 straight hits in the 7th inning are now down 6-5.
Backdoor slider came to the middle of the plate instead. And he combed it. Unfortunately, came off the wall hard too, Chip, off that padding. Right to Munoz, whose throw again was way off the mark. But Ron Washington didn't know that that was going to happen.
And you've got your RBI leader on the club since June 1st waiting on deck in a 1-run game. So it's 6-5 now. Mike Maddox talking things over with Hudson. Camargo's going to be the batter here with second and third, 2 outs. The remarkable year of Nick Markakis continues. His 42nd double, his 92nd RBI. And the Braves are a base hit away from pandemonium here at SunTrust Park. Let's see if Camargo can provide it. What an incredible month for Camargo. 20 RBIs in his last 32 games. And Hudson gets ahead with strike one.
I like this matchup, and I like it because Johan, as we talked earlier, he's crowding the plate. He's challenging anybody to pitch him inside, and especially down and in, he'll drop the barrel on it.
We've seen him line balls into that first row of the chop house seats this year. The pitch, swing, and a shot down the line, but he pulled it foul. Had the distance, but got it out in front.
10 feet away from pandemonium.
Head in the count. Now they go back in there again.
No balls, 2 strikes. The Mets have just beaten the Phillies. Huge night for Michael Conforto. I believe I saw him with a 6 RBI night. Atlanta down a run, and Camargo chased one and is retired, and that will end the Atlanta 7th. The Braves put together 3 straight 2-out hits. A double by Markakis brings the Braves to within 6-5 going to the 8th.
To 7 for the Braves to clinch the National League East, and let's show you how those Mets went on to win. Remember, they had a 4-0 lead on Philadelphia. Our Xfinity game break goes up to Philly. After the Phils rallied to tie it, Michael Conforto with an RBI double to snap the tie, and then swung the big bat in the 9th, a 3-run shot. He had 6 RBI on the night as they go on to win this one by a final of 9-4. Michael Conforto, the man for the moment, until a Brave goes ahead and wins tonight's game for Atlanta, fellas.
That's exactly right, Jerome, and we'll have to tangle with Michael Conforto and the Mets on our last road trip. Chan Hartzog tells us Conforto has erupted in September. 22 RBIs this month.
Wow, we're only halfway through.
May have to send him a Christmas present.
Well, Jesse Biddle will go to work in the 8th inning. 1-run game. It'll be Colton Wong, Munoz, and then a pinch hitter for Dakota Hudson. Hudson worked an inning and 2/3. 3 hits and a run. No walks and 1 strikeout. Wong has had a big night. A 2-run double in the first, a solo homer in the 4th. And a bouncing ball toward Ozzie, who got the proper hop And Wong is retired for out number 1. On the Markakis double, guys, that had to be a tough read for Ron Washington as the Braves third base coach. The ball was hit very hard. It bounced hard off the wall. Flip of the coin as to whether you want to send Freddie Freeman on that play. Even with Munoz in right, who didn't make a good throw. Wash couldn't have known that.
Nope.
And he still had a shot with Camargo, but Johan struck out. And here is Munoz. Tough night in center field. A couple of errors that have gift wrapped 2 Atlanta runs. He's 0 for 2 with a walk.
The Biddler with a 2.41 ERA and 54 relief appearances for Atlanta this season. That's the second lowest ERA by a left-handed rookie in franchise history. The other, Johnny Venters.
Quite fine for the Braves. Jesse Biddle this year. Jesse had that unforgettable game against the Phillies earlier this year. Base hit, RBI, and a win all in the same night against the club that drafted him as a first-round pick. And remember, the Braves did such great work against the Phillies, winning the first 3 series against them head-to-head. That had as much as anything to do with how the Braves got out in the Eastern Division race. Phillies won the 4th series, taking 2 out of 3 against Atlanta. But now, Phillies and Braves won't match up again until this weekend. It's a long time between series. And Biddle with a good pitch takes care of Munoz. There's the second out. Enhance your next game day experience with the MLB Ballpark app. Access and manage your tickets. Enjoy check-in offers, exclusive content, and more. Download the MLB Ballpark app today. Here's Tyler O'Neill. He'll pinch it for Hudson. And Jesse just missed.
Those early games in Philadelphia, those series when the Braves were playing well and everybody was trying to decide, are these guys for real? Nobody says that anymore.
No. Not just that series. I mean, that gave them a lot of confidence. They were feeling pretty good about themselves. But they also played well against Washington that month. I mean, and that, I think that gave them the confidence that, hey, maybe we do have something working here.
Well, yeah, you remember talking with Brian Snitker, Joe. I think it was in Washington. We were in the dugout together talking about the early start for the Braves. And reporters were asking the Braves, well, are you ahead of schedule? I think Brian said to those reporters and said to us privately, you know, I think we're a pretty good team. There's no, flukiness about this start we've gotten off to. And they've been right on point from those early days. As O'Neill just looked at a 97-mile-an-hour fastball that sounded like a strike. Don't know what's wrong with that pitch, and I'm sure Flowers is asking Sam Holbrook the same thing. O'Neill, a dangerous hitter, 34 homers, 26 in Memphis. He's got 8 with St. Louis.
Strong guy.
Is O'Neill the kid that's dad's the big time weightlifter?
Yes.
Former Seattle Mariner. The pitch is just high. So O'Neill walks and Flowers disgustedly flips the ball back to Jesse Biddle. He didn't see eye to eye with Sam Holbrook in that sequence at all. Holbrook missed a couple of pitches, certainly one of them. This one grazed the corner, but Biddle didn't get the call.
Easily could have been a strike. Yeah, O'Neill's dad was, his name is Terry. He's a former Mr. Canada. Won the national bodybuilding title in '75. Succeeded Paul Bird.
So here's Carpenter, dangerous hitter in a dangerous spot. He's 0 for 3 with a walk and a run scored. Good selection there, a good hook. And strike one. In the Atlanta 8th, Inciarte, Flowers, and Swanson, the first 3 scheduled. That nice 7th inning guarantees Acuna's going to come up in the 9th inning. Hopefully sooner than that. That's swept outside. Ball 1, strike 1.
Big at bat right here with 2 outs. The man on first. Carpenter at the plate with 35 home runs. Have to finish it.
The 1-1 pitch. Got the inside corner call there. Carpenter said, hey, he missed his spot, but clearly was a strike.
Not every umpire will give you credit for throwing a strike if you miss your spot badly.
One ball, 2 strike. The pitch. That got away from Flowers. He can't find it. It's over by the Braves on deck circle. So that hurts.
Jesse hesitated a little bit, as he does sometime with that lead foot. May or may not have caused him to throw it off and bounce it a little bit, but Flowers, when he's second time tonight, he's had trouble finding the ball, and as a catcher you immediately look to your pitcher. You can't hear your pitcher, so the pitcher is supposed to be pointing on where the ball is at.
So now the pressure mounts for Jesse Biddle. 2 balls, 2 strikes. That's a huge run out there at second base for the Cardinals in the form of O'Neill. In what's now a 1-run game. Three and two.
I'd like to see a no look right here out of Biddle. Do not worry about the guy on second. You have one job. Make a quality pitch to Carpenter right now.
And stay away from down and in.
Fouled off a breaking ball into the Braves dugout. So back-to-back breaking balls that were off target and fouled into the dugout. Let's see what the Braves cook up. 3 and 2 here.
So on 95-97 earlier in the at bat.
Great fastball tonight.
Yep. Set up on that outside corner.
That one missed at 95. No swing. So back-to-back walks with 2 outs.
That's where Tyler was set up. That pitch was at opposite corners of the zone from where he was set up. This is the 4th straight outing that Jesse has walked at least 1 batter.
It's really an epidemic. Braves have walked 7 more men tonight.
This time of year, though, I mean, guys are tired. You know, whether they want to admit it or not, it may even be mental fatigue. And it's not just with the Braves, it's with every team this time of year.
Harrison Bader, the batter, he's in a long slump.
That was a good pitch.
Bader's 3 for his last 22.
And I know Biddle isn't hitting every spot, but I do think he threw a strike to O'Neill in his defense, and I thought that pitch was a strike as well. Certainly crossed the plate.
One ball, no strikes.
Winkler up in the Braves pen for the second time tonight.
Three and 0. DeYoung waits on deck. He's homered and doubled. All of this with 2 outs. Back-to-back walks, and now Bader with a 3-0 pitch coming. Swing and a fly ball down the left field line. That ball is out of play. They green lighted him. It's now 3-1.
Scared me a little bit coming off the bat.
Bader's out of Bronxville, New York. He just turned 24. He was a 3rd-round pick by the Cardinals in 2015. The minor league player of the year for St. Louis last year. And he hits one a mile high to left. Acuna back to the track, to the wall. It's a home run. You give extra outs to good teams, they make you pay. Back-to-back 2-out walks, then the 3-run homer. And St. Louis back in front by 4.
That's a shame. Fastball middle up. As you said, Chip, that's a shame with 2 outs all coming with the walks. And I think Biddle just struggled with command and decided to come in right there instead of throwing a breaking ball or getting a little more greedy and not caring if you walked another guy because you couldn't give in.
Well, I don't think he wanted to walk him at all, Paul. I think we saw him walk off the back of the mound and try to regroup, it was that he knew he needed to throw a strike, and so did Bader. And Bader just fell back on that back leg and uppercut.
So the Braves have walked 7 Cardinals in this game. 5 of them have scored.
Wow.
And look, we don't enjoy talking about these numbers, but it is an epidemic. This is a critical time for the Braves and the bullpen. Counting the 7 walks tonight, that's 70 walks issued by the Braves pitching staff in 11 games. And in a 9-5 game, when 5 of those 7 walks score, you take those away, you lead by a run. It just can't happen. As Joe has said, and we will keep saying it, a walk is a rally, and it was with 2 outs. Questionable as the walk to O'Neill may have been. The walk to Carpenter, and then the 3-0 count to Bader, and he unloaded. And that will retire the side, but a disappointing 8th. The Braves base on balls issues continue tonight. It's a 4-run Cardinal game going to the home 8th.
Xfinity delivers the fastest internet with the best in-home Wi-Fi experience. And by Delta Airlines.
St. Louis has cashed in 7 walks for 5 runs, and they've also hit 3 homers tonight, and they lead 9-5. 2019 Delta Sky 360 Club memberships are on sale now. As a club member, you'll take in the games in padded field level seats behind home plate, and you'll get complimentary in-seat food and beverage service, VIP parking, and more. It's a perfect way to entertain clients and prospects. For a full list of Delta Sky 360 Club benefits, go to braves.com/premium. And here is Carlos Martinez, the man I spoke of earlier in the game. 11th game as a relief pitcher, and seems like he has found a home in the Cardinal bullpen. This guy has electric stuff.
Yeah, he can bring it 92 to 98.
Throws a sinker, cutter, slider, curve, and change out of the pen. He may not use all of those. But guys, I've never seen a pitcher with a pink glove.
He's won 14, 16, and 12 games as a starting pitcher for St. Louis. He's been a 2-time All-Star.
Well, wasn't one of the concerns that forced him to the bullpen were injuries, arm trouble, time and again, and maybe a lessened workload, and help keep him active.
But what a weapon for the Cardinals in the way the game is played now. If they get to postseason play, they get a lead like this, they can turn him loose for 2 innings and go right through an opposing order, but not the kind of start he wanted. The Braves happy for a leadoff walk of their own. Ender's aboard for a 3rd time, and that's how the Atlanta 8th starts.
Since pitching out of the pen on 8/21, he's pitched consecutive days 3 times. Sometimes guys can do that. Other guys may need a little bit of a break, but it just depends on how your arm works. And if you have a guy that can do that, what a huge weapon when you have the kind of stuff that he has.
It's kind of unusual, too, for a starter who's gone into the bullpen to be able to do that 3 days in a row.
Absolutely.
Braves need a big comeback tonight, down 9-5 in the 8th. Little pop toward first. Carpenter in foul ground will have room. He'll handle 1 out. And Dansby Swanson is going to be the Braves hitter. Phillies already lost tonight. Huge game from Michael Conforto. That's 9, Phillies 4. If this score holds, the Braves will trim a digit off their magic number at the moment. Well, it already is 7.
And Washington left town thinking they might have one last run in them, going to Miami, and they got beat tonight.
8-5 after leading 4-0. So a 2-2 road trip for the Nationals so far. As Dansby takes a strike, it's 0-1. Sanchez and Gomber tomorrow night in Game 2. And that missed inside. Warm, muggy night at SunTrust Park. Ball was flying this evening. 4 home runs have been hit. As you see, beautiful panoramic view of the turf on our Xfinity cam tonight. 1 ball, 1 strike. And that's off the screen. Nice stop by Molina. See the left uniform sleeve of the Cardinals. Patch honoring The late, great Red Schoendienst, who passed away. Schoendienst, a part of the Braves organization from 1957 through the end of the 1960 season. Helped win a world title with the Milwaukee Braves in '57. Red Schoendienst's career, we talked about Stan Musial earlier, began in 1945. He came to the Cardinals that year to fill in for Stan Musial, who was serving in the Army. Think about that. Two Hall of Fame players. One replacing the other for wartime service. 3-2 pitch coming for Dansby. And right off his thumbs and a slow hopper. Martinez overran it. Carpenter will pick it up and take it to the bag for the second out. And standing at second is Under Inciarte. And Lucas Duda is going to come up and pinch hit.
I'm not sure Dansby even knew where that ball went. Got in on him, really jammed him. Score it 1-3.
Well, that was really boring in on his hands, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
So here's Duda. And that's downstairs, ball one. Crowd tonight of 24,304 for game one. Hope you'll join us tomorrow night. And then again Wednesday afternoon. The pitch. Good change. An 89-mile-an-hour changeup.
Two innings tonight for the Cardinals, the first and the eighth. They got 3 runs on 1 hit.
The first and the eighth. Walks were the big problem. 5 of them in those 2 innings. Excuse me, 6 of them in those 2 innings. And 5 of them have scored. And I don't know how you clean that up. Again, we talked about that with Tom Glavine yesterday. It's not like the guys try to walk guys. They just are. Right. So 3-2 is outside. Oh, Molina was out of his crouch, ready to head to the dugout. Now it's his turn to talk with Sam Holbrook. And Duda's aboard with a 2-out walk. And now Acuna's coming up with a chance to do damage.
So I thought Biddle struck out O'Neill earlier. I think that is a strike as well. That's a good pitch.
Agreed.
So Mike Maddox is out. He'll give Martinez the hands-on treatment here. There it is. And Acuna will try to improve on a 2-hit night. It's 9-5. The Braves aren't out of this thing yet.
No.
They're never out of it.
This team has an uncanny ability to score late. They've scored 250 runs in the 7th inning or later this year. So the meeting over. Let's see what Acuna gets. A base hit to center is what he gets. Here comes Ender around third. Bader's throw is to the center of the diamond and cut off. A 3-hit game for Acuna, and Atlanta will bring the tying run to the plate with 2 outs. Something else they've done a great job of this year.
Cut fastball, the outside part of the plate. Acuna did not miss it. Ambushed him.
We put a good swing on that ball. Down and through it. Wasn't trying to hit it out of the park.
You know, he's so dangerous because he can pull a home run, he can hit a home run the opposite field, and then he takes a swing like that, as you say, where it's a line drive up the middle, very tough to pitch.
So here's Albies with a 2-run game. He singled and walked. If he hits one out, the Braves will have gotten off the mat to tie it.
That's what I'm talking about.
If he can get a base hit and keep the inning alive, Freddie Freeman's on deck. Outside. And in a game of this magnitude, how big will one pitch be for the Atlanta offense? Ball 4 instead of strike 3 to Duda.
I like the patience that Albies is showing right now in a big situation. Waiting for his pitch. We'll see if it continues through the at-bat.
And now Molina wants to talk it over with Martinez. DeYoung and Colton Wong will join the conversation.
Ten walks tonight between the two teams. 7 have scored. That is not postseason like.
You guys,
not if you want to win.
You were talking about Glavine. I think one, there is the mechanical issue. There is the tired issue. And then there is the, you know, I'm going to pitch. I'm not going to be aggressive. I'm going to pitch not to lose instead of being on the attack. You got to figure out which that is and make the adjustments accordingly.
Paul, I'm sure you went out there at times knowing you didn't have your best stuff and you were trying not to make mistakes.
Yes.
You were trying to be fine, too fine.
Let's see what Albies gets on a 2-0 count after the mound meeting. Pickoff play. And Duda's in safely.
What I have not seen, regardless, is command with the fastball to both sides of the plate. Everything else works off that.
Good cut there, but fouled off. 2 balls and a strike.
You look at Wong's hit tonight on the backdoor curveball. You look at Markakis on the backdoor slider. Hitters will start to dive out if you do not establish in at some point in the game, and they'll say, I'm going to eliminate that. And then as a pitcher, if you make a mistake away and elevate, you just will not get away with many mistakes.
Up and in. 3 balls and a strike.
What was that thing you were saying about a home run?
See what happens here. 3 balls and a strike.
Very small strike zone right here for Ozzie. Look for one in your wheelhouse. If it's not there, take it.
Top corner of the zone.
It's okay. Wasn't a whole lot he could do with that anyway.
He shook his head and nodded and said, I wanted to hit anyways.
So Duda and Acuna will be running with a 3-2 pitch. There they go. And it's ball 4, and Freddie Freeman has a chance to put the Braves in front. So Martinez with 3 walks and a hit in the inning.
Incredible patience by Albies tonight on a couple of at-bats. That's one of them. That's a tough pitch to lay off. When you want to hit the 3-run homer, great plate discipline right there.
And he's been on base now 3 times. The first 2 times he was on, he scored. That's how you get over 100 runs scored.
Freddie Freeman is 5 for 9 with a homer against Carlos Martinez, who will work out a windup. And he was swinging and got something off speed. A changeup for a strike.
I think the word you used earlier, Chip, was pandemonium. Can he make it happen?
That's off the plate. Ball one, strike one.
He's going to throw the cutter. It's a matter of, is he going to throw it in on his hands, or is he going to try to backdoor it?
Line down the line, and slicing foul. Almost. But now it's 1-2. So now what does Martinez think about? The 1-2 pitch. Wasted high at 98.
When Freddie gets in these spots, when he's behind in the count, now even, he's still looking to go the other way. He's not trying to turn on anything and lift it unless you make a mistake.
Two flyers aboard. The pitch almost hit him. Full count. Now he's got to throw him a strike or it costs him a run. What an at bat by Freeman, behind 1-2. Now it's full.
He's not missing in the dirt. He's not missing really that much other than down and in. He's missing high. Mistake here would be nice up in the zone.
Runners go. Here it is. Swing and a miss. And that is your inning. Freeman spikes the bat, and the Braves settle for one in the 8th inning. Martinez was wild with 3 walks, but he preserves the lead. It's 9-6 St. Louis. We now head to the 9th inning at SunTrust Park. Wednesday, the Braves' magic number at the moment is 7 to win the East. To get the best seats for the biggest moments this October, head to Braves.com/postseason and reserve your seats today. 9-6 is your score. We go to the 9th inning, and it's good to see Arodys Vizcaino back on a big league mound. He pitched an inning the other day against the Nationals. A fresh arm would be very helpful this time of year for the Braves relief corps.
Fresh and healthy. I mean, that appearance for him a couple of days ago, his first since pitching against Toronto on July 11th. Shoulder problems really waylaid the second half of the season for him. But he's feeling better. I saw him today. Good to see him back active, feeling good.
And he'll face Marcell Ozuna, who's walked twice, doubled, and scored once. We're in the 9th inning, 9-6. Braves trail the Cardinals. And the first one, electric at 94.
It's been tough on Viz, too. He's happy for the team, but to not be a part of that. He wants to be a part of that. He's paid his dues. He's been so important for this team, so it's nice to see him get back in time to experience it.
And again, let's not forget the contributions he made in the first half of the year. He saved 15 games. He pitched to a 1.60 ERA in 34 outings. So he's another one of the unsung heroes for Atlanta in the first half before those shoulder woes crept up on him. And That one cut on and missed by 1.5 feet by Ozuna. 1 ball, 2 strikes. He wasn't happy with that swing.
He's up to like 3 feet of swinging and missing tonight. Remember the one that was over the head of Tyler Flowers?
It was so good, it was hard to hit and hard to catch.
Two balls, 2 strikes. And a swing and a miss. Impressive start for Vizcaíno. Ozuna is struck out for the 2nd time, and there's the 1st out. Well, that's a tight slider.
He's always had a good slider, and when it's placed like that, it's tough.
Not breaking to the side at all, going straight down like a hard curve, but it is a slider. You see the dot. Those are the best kind.
Here's Jed Jerko. He's walked and scored.
Ooh, that got Sam Holbrook.
Did Tyler get leather on that?
A little bit, not enough. Oh, shoulder pad. That's better than the mask, I guess.
One ball, no strikes. 97 right there is pretty good.
And it's easy too.
Sure
Looks
is.
like he's throwing a pin.
Yeah.
A ball and a strike. Here it comes. And a shot down the left field line. That is going to bounce off the warning track and into the stands. It'll be a ground rule double for Jerko. 18 two-base hits for Jerko, who's got a hit in 10 straight starts for the Cardinals.
Remember earlier tonight, 3-0 against Fultonevich. Fulte gave him his Sunday best fastball, and he hit it about 40 rows foul. Kind of did the same thing to that fastball.
So Yadier Molina is the batter. He's 0 for 3 and has been hit by a pitch. He does have an RBI on that hit batsman. And he ambushes the first one and launches it toward the Braves bullpen. Ender is going to try to deke the runner, but no chance for that. Sore hamstring and all, Yadier Molina just launched a 2-run homer. That's a Hall of Fame player, in my opinion, folks.
I don't think there's any question.
And one of 4 homers the Cardinals have hit tonight, and that one's going to put it out of reach, one would think.
Opposite field showing a lot of thump. Cardinals fans chanting Yachty as he crossed home plate.
So it's 11-6. The Cardinals have 11 runs on 9 hits, 4 homers. Fultonevich surrendered 2 homers. Biddle a homer, and now Vizcaíno a homer allowed. That one smoked into right center field by Colton Wong.
Gentlemen, we talk about extension a lot for hitters and getting the ball out front. Look at this swing by Molina and the point of contact here on this fastball that he drove to deep right center. But look where he makes contact. Look at the extension than he had catching that ball really out even with his foot, front foot, a little more.
You've talked a lot, Joe, about hitting with a strong front leg. He doesn't have a front leg. It's his left hamstring that's killing him. What a shot by Molina, his 18th home run. And the Cardinals back in front 11-6. And Flowers drops that one. That'll get Wong to second base. Tyler's had a tough inning. So a passed ball puts Colton Wong at second base. One ball, one strike for Yairo Munoz. And he didn't get that. A ball and two strikes.
Biz has his good stuff tonight. Fastball is outstanding. You have to credit the Cards. They're turning it around right now, and that surprised me a little bit because it was coming out easy. And I thought he looked good.
1-2 pitch from Vizcaino is popped out of play. Munoz was originally an Oakland A. And you might recall the very sad and inspirational story of Stephen Piscotty and his mom suffering from ALS. He wanted to play closer to home, so the Cardinals traded Piscotty to Oakland, and Munoz and infielder Max Schrock came back to St. Louis. One ball, two strikes. Just missed outside, 2-2. Munoz just a kid. He's 23 years old. A swing and a miss, ball in the dirt. Flowers will make the throw to first in time, and that's the second out. So 2 outs, and our old pal Matt Adams is going to get a chance to swing the bat. Nationals did Matt Adams a big favor. He still lives in St. Louis, even when he played with the Braves, I should say. Kept his home there. Now he's got a chance to come back to St. Louis and potentially play on a playoff team. He only has 8 hits with the Cardinals, but 3 of them are homers. He's hit 3 homers, knocked in 7 runs with the Redbirds. Overall, 21 homers this year. He and Mark Reynolds were terrific with the Nationals in place of Ryan Zimmerman, who spent most of the year disabled.
Braves have the shift on Matt Adams' career pinch hitting numbers, hitting .283 with 9 homers. That's tough to do coming off the bench.
Those are tremendous numbers.
And when he was available in the non-waiver or the waiver portion of the trade deadline, the Braves tried to get Matt Adams, but Cardinals wouldn't let him slip to Atlanta. That's why they were able to get him from the Nationals.
Yeah, those waivers go through inverse order of the standings, so the Cardinals had first shot at him.
And St. Louis glad to have him back. One of the more puzzling trades they made, as that one's in the dirt, when they traded him to Atlanta after Freddie Freeman broke his wrist. a couple of years ago. St. Louis hits a 4th homer. Yadier Molina adds on 2 more. It's 11-6 to the bottom of the 9th.
We head to the bottom of the 9th inning. But the Braves get Anibal Sanchez on the mound tomorrow, and we know the good work he has done all season. And he's the focus of our look ahead, brought to you by Wells Fargo. Taking a look at that pitching matchup, he'll take on Austin Gomber. Gomber, 3.78 ERA in 26 games, and Anibal Sanchez, a 3.01 ERA. And you look at his career numbers. He really does his best work in September and October. And today I asked him what he attributes that to, and he said he spent so many years in the big leagues, over 10 years, and he pitches all season preparing for those months. And we hear this all the time, but he's learned it's not how you start, it's really how strong you finish. So he makes sure to save some steam for these important months, guys, and it has been paying off for the Braves.
It has. Where would the Braves be without Anibal Sanchez this year? What a find he has been. Not just what he's done on the mound, fellas, between the white lines, but what he's done between the ears in the locker room for these young Braves starters and relievers.
Great influence, great acquisition during the latter days of spring training. He hasn't disappointed anyone.
So John Brebbia is going to come on and try to finish it off for St. Louis. The Braves are down 5 runs in the 9th inning. Nick Markakis, Johan Camargo, and Ender Inciarte are the scheduled hitters.
Brebbia fastball up to 95, 96, slider 82, and a change that is also hard at 89.
Yeah, this does something for the Cardinals in their bullpen too tonight with the lead big small is that they didn't have to worry about not having Hicks available. He pitched a couple innings last night, probably needed a day off. He's a guy that can throw 100 plus.
Brebbia was a 30th round pick of the Yankees in 2011. After the 2013 season, he pitched for 2 years in independent ball at Sioux Falls and Laredo.
Good for him.
Then was signed by the Arizona Diamondbacks in September of 2015. He was left unprotected, and the Cardinals took him in the AAA phase of the Rule 5 draft. And last year, pitched in 50 games after that stint in independent ball. No record, but a good ERA, 2.44, and averaged about a strikeout per innings pitched.
And that last fastball was 98 two-seamer, so I lied about how hard he could throw. Wow.
30th round pick by the Yankees. That's the kind of guy that you typically, and we typically, talk about with regard to the Cardinals. They're always getting guys that are to the big leagues that were late draft picks.
Lots of them. He was the 929th pick in the draft that year. Now, he didn't pan out with the Yankees. I mean, it took him a while to figure out his body, his mechanics, and all of that. But to pitch 2 years in independent ball and not give up the dream, and then find his way to Springfield in the Cardinals system.
You got to have that burning in your chest, man.
That's a great point.
But he issues a leadoff walk. What else would you expect in a game like this one tonight? Chuck Hernandez and Mike Maddox might need to go have a glass of wine after the game to talk about all the walks that they have seen their staffs hurl in this game. Yikes. Johan Camargo, the batter, he's 1 for 4. A 6th inning single for Camargo. He came home on the sacrifice fly by Flowers and then the bad throw by Munoz. Committed 2 errors in the 6th inning and helped pull the Braves to a 6-4 deficit. Cardinals have scored 5 runs in the 8th and 9th combined tonight. Well, those add-on runs are something we've talked about for years. How demoralizing they are when you fight so hard to get back to within 1 run. Then you got to start over.
Yeah, the shutdown innings have been hard to come by.
One ball, 2 strikes for Camargo. And that's pulled foul off the screen. Do it again. Milwaukee shut out Cincinnati 8-0. Heard Jerome mention that earlier on the 7th inning stretch. Christian Yelich hit for the cycle again. Cubs in Arizona have a great game going. Patrick Corbin is on the mound against Kyle Hendricks. There's no score in the desert. The Cardinals aren't rooting like crazy for Arizona to win that game. They're 5.5 games behind Chicago in the Central. As that one's cut on and missed at 97 miles an hour. Camargo's the first out. And St. Louis, believe me, has not given up hope on winning the division. They've got 3 games left with Milwaukee in St. Louis, and they finished the season with 3 games against the Cubs at Wrigley Field. So if they can whittle a few more games off this deficit, anything can happen when the Cubs and Cardinals get together. So here's Ender. Good night for Inciarte. He's reached 3 times and scored twice.
This is a very good team out on the field. They remind me a little bit of the Braves in that they have a lot of players that can hurt you, just some steady pressure. Seem to have some good chemistry going after the managerial change.
Well, if this score holds, they will have exactly the same number of wins as the Atlanta Braves.
Can I ask you guys a question about Miles Michaelis? If he wins this game, he's going to be 16-4. We don't even think about him in the Cy Young discussion, do we?
Name never comes up.
For a man that's only walked 29 men in 185 innings, and he's won 16 of 20 decisions, if this one stays the same score-wise, might have to start talking about him in that regard.
That's a great point.
Sub-3 ERA, low walks, talked about that.
Winning team.
And what he has meant to this team.
One ball, 2 strikes for Ender. And that's over the outside corner. Now Inciarte's turn to grumble. That wasn't a strike when Biddle threw a pitch to O'Neill. And he's waved away by Sam Holbrook. And that's the next to last out in the 9th. Presented beautifully by Molina, but that hasn't always been called a strike. And Tyler Flowers, the final hope.
You're right about that, Chip. There have been several like that tonight that were not rung up.
That's down the right field line, and Flowers down a strike. Big fastball at 97, and the Braves are down to their last strike. No balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. And the pitch. We'll do it again, 1-2. Boy, Brebbia with that red beard, he'd make a great Kris Kringle, wouldn't he?
I was thinking Yukon Cornelius.
That too. Even better. And he comes up silver and gold in the 9th inning with a 3 strikeout performance. And the Cardinals get a bunch of walks and a bunch of homers. And they have beaten the Braves for the 7th consecutive time in Atlanta. And they win their first game head-to-head in 2018. 11-6 is the final score tonight. Michaelis beats Fultonevich, but the Braves' magic number, fellas, is 7 thanks to the New York Mets. But clearly the Braves got to clean up the walks and take care of business at home. It's been a tough stretch of play here at SunTrust Park. We'll recap that, preview game 2 of the series. Anibal Sanchez and Austin Gomber, the pitching principals. For Joe Simpson, Paul Bird, and Kelsey Winger, Chip Carey from SunTrust Park. Stay tuned. Braves Live presented by Xfinity is coming right up.